She and her husband like to keep talking and talking and talking.
He wasn't being creepy and saying, oh, you smell good.
You know, when we first were going over these claims, we're like, why would she say all this? She's not an idiot, right? She can't be an idiot. She's a fucking idiot. How embarrassing. Girl. Literally was talking about the temperature of the room. You idiot. What the are you doing? The Sesh Podcast, episode 212, take 1. Hello, friends, and welcome back to The Sesh. I am your host, Kendall.
And I'm Janelle, and we're joined by Karelly and Sydney. Welcome back to the show, people.
Yes.
We're all here.
I'm so happy to be back.
We're all, what rhymes with here? Drinking beer. We're not drinking beer.
Oh, a beer sounds good.
What? You like beer?
Mm-hmm. I've been really into my Stellas lately.
Okay.
It's good stuff. It's my favorite beer.
I'll drink a beer with you whenever. You let me know.
Do we have any beer?
I don't think we have any beer.
Oh.
We have like Montauk.
Nope, I took those home.
I probably
Those are
shouldn't
disgusting.
be drinking a beer on Monday morning.
No.
Not the greatest decision. But anyway.
We're here. We're not drinking beer.
I'm so happy to be back. I'm so sorry I missed last week. Truly, because it feels like it's been so long. Just missing one episode.
I know.
Because then it's been 2 weeks since I've recorded.
It has.
And it makes me so sad because I love this show. But guys, I was unwell. And I'm still getting over it. So I'm sure I sound a little nasally.
You were coughing up a lot of things.
Yes, a lot of things. And I'm still coughing up things.
Tell them
and
what happened
today,
this morning if you want.
Yeah, I was coughing so hard in the kitchen that I threw up. And it was so much that I couldn't make it into the sink. And so it got on the floor and my daughter was watching and horrified. She's like, what are you doing? It's like, mommy's sick, hang on. So disgusting. It's like sometimes I just cough so hard that it triggers nausea and I try to just breathe through it. And I'm just a nauseous person. I feel like I throw up like once a week.
Totally.
And I'm just sitting there like trying to breathe. And I'm like, nope, I'm too far gone. This is happening. This is fucking happening.
Sometimes if I feel nauseous, like I'll try to suppress, but then other times I'm like, let's just do it because I'll feel better.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yes.
Stop
but
fucking teasing
It's annoying in the morning, especially because like I took my morning medicine and stuff. You know, like my morning spironolactone.
Right.
For my acne.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm going to lose that.
Right.
And I'm on like the behind the counter Mucinex, the really
the good shit.
The special stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it did anything. They also gave me an inhaler. I don't know if that did anything. Because I never really had trouble breathing.
Yeah.
I think they gave it to me preemptively in case it got to that point. But yeah, it was really bad. I haven't been that sick in years.
Ugh, you sounded like shit.
It was so brutal.
Then I tried to bring you medicine, and then your doctor was like, that's making it worse.
Yeah.
Like, well,
you tried to give me a cough suppressant, and I thought it would probably help, but that's for a dry cough. I had a wet cough.
It was wet.
So she was like, that's making it worse. And I was like, lovely. It's so great. It's so great. Yeah, it's been, and then I just feel like so worn down and tired and sore. And like, I haven't worked out in almost 2 weeks now. And I thought about doing it yesterday and I was just like, I'm just so tired. I want to just use when my daughter's napping, I'm napping. Just got to like rest the body.
You're sick.
Yeah,
you need to rest.
I know.
But it's also, what month is it? January.
Ugh.
And so it's like hibernation season.
Still fucking January.
It's been January for like fucking 8 months.
I know. I hate this time of year so much.
It's the worst. January to May sucks.
Yeah. I like April.
All your birthdays. And I guess it's like, okay, April,
like, you get glimpses.
Right.
And like, it's most of the time.
But April's a tease because it's like sunny. And then the next day is like snow 2 feet. And I'm like, cool.
Totally. Yeah.
It doesn't really get out of the weeds until like late May.
Yeah. I know.
I wish it was summer so bad.
I know, me too. Like, I get why other people choose Arizona and like, I see it. But then it's like during the summer, it's so brutal where it's almost winter to them. They can't go outside. Yeah. So it's give and take, you know? I like the 4 seasons. And I love Christmas, snow and stuff. Although we didn't get snow on Christmas this year anyway.
No.
Lots of snow. Very just cold.
Actually,
cold all the time.
Freezing cold. I feel bad for people who live in like
Alaska.
Fucking Michigan. That's true, yeah. Or like Michigan or something like
the
that.
East Coast, Massachusetts.
Wisconsin, Massachusetts, anywhere in like New England. That, because it's like cold, bitter cold for months and gloomy.
And it doesn't melt because we still get the snow days the sunny days that melt it all.
Like, I remember when Austin first moved here, he was telling me, he goes, I can't believe people walk their dogs during the winter because it's actually sunny here. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, in Michigan, you don't leave your house for like 3 months. It's cloudy every day and cold every day.
That's
I'm like,
so horrible.
I could never ever live in that.
Yeah, I guess we really can't complain. Colorado's pretty awesome because in like our summers and stuff, it never gets too hot where you can't go outside. We never like have a time of the year unless it's like a really big cold front where it hits the negatives, which did happen recently where you literally just don't go outside. But even then, it's not that bad.
And it's not humid here, so you don't ever feel sticky.
Yeah, we can't be complaining, honestly. Let us know where you live. I'd love to hear from you guys.
What's the temperature right now?
And do you like where you live and why? Give us a pitch for your...
Actually, convince me to move to a different state. Not that I'm going to anytime soon.
Because I'm never moving.
But I think at some point in my life, I'll live in a different state.
You think so?
I think so. I feel like...
I probably will at some point, too.
I feel like I'm not going to live my whole life in one state. I don't know.
Yeah, because you were pretty much born here.
Pretty much. Yeah. I could see myself maybe going back to California one day, but...
I don't know.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
California comes with a lot of other things, yeah.
Anyways,
yeah, we've got
lawsuits
on the menu.
Lawsuits
on lawsuits. And God, this fucking Baldoni lively bullshit is just blown. And now I'm like really interested in it. I've got to say, like now I'm like fully in and fascinated.
Me too.
And I know that this whole time we've tried to be like, we're not picking sides and like, let's try to be as unbiased as we can. And like, no matter how hard we've tried, people are still like, you're clearly on Justin's team. You're clearly on Blake's team. And we genuinely did not care.
Should we issue an apology?
I have nothing to apologize for based on what happened then.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, and yeah, it was like frustrating because there were so many people like, oh my God, you're so clearly on his side. And then, you're so clearly on her side. It's like, I really didn't care until now. Because now, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like enough information and solid evidence has been presented that I am I'd say I'm like 98% confident that I am on Justin Baldoni's side.
I'm going with like 90%.
90? Okay, that's probably more fair.
I'm going with 90%.
Because maybe she has more cards that we haven't seen. But like you'd think she would have put them out. I don't know. She's just looking. Remember when you kept saying on that other episode, like I think when we first started covering the lawsuits portion, because obviously we've been covering this back since like, I think it was August or September when we first started talking about the movie premiere drama and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of their earlier episodes, you kept saying like, but why would she do all this unless she's an idiot? Why would she do this? She must, she's not an idiot.
Right.
I think she might be.
I think maybe she'd be idiot. And also I have something else to say because I was thinking about this morning when I was like watching some coverage. I think I also said something along the lines of, wouldn't her lawyers be like, Blake, you're not going to win this. Drop it.
Wouldn't someone have advised
her?
What
a stupid ass thing for me to say because the lawyers are getting paid whether they win or lose.
That's true.
They don't give a damn. They're like, yeah, sue.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes. Let's go the distance, baby. Sue.
Point.
Sue, baby, sue.
Yep.
Because they're getting paid no matter what. So I don't know what I was thinking.
I was really trying to give her like somewhat of the benefit of the doubt. I'm just like not a fan of either of them, to be honest. Like,
I
as far as
know
a
who
fan
this
of
was until this happened.
I don't think either of them are that great of actors. We obviously didn't like the movie.
The movie sucked.
But the more I learned about her, I just really don't like her at all. And like now I'm starting to like him more. The more I see about him, I mean, there's definitely some things where I'm like, whatever. But I don't know. I think she really is.
Do you think it's her, or do you think maybe it's her husband?
Or it's her husband.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, too. And that makes me sad because I've always really liked Ryan Reynolds. It's not like I'm like a stan of Ryan. And I don't know much about him outside of his acting. I just liked him as an actor.
I'm pretty sure on our episode before break, we were like having a Q&A or something, and someone asked what our hall pass was. I'm pretty sure I said Ryan Reynolds.
I think you did, yeah, which I get. Like, I mean, he's funny. To me, it's like always the humor that makes me really fall for guys.
I don't know, but I don't really know anything about the dude. But now I'm like, fuck, maybe he sucks.
But it's like we also don't know, and we're going to get into all of this. But there's a lot of speculation being said, and that's what I really want to try our best as like much as we're like now switch it really like kind of on one side.
Right.
I want to try to remain somewhat neutral, especially when it comes to, I mean, not neutral when it comes to lawsuit, because that's pretty clean cut at this point. But as far as the speculation goes about like, was there a relationship? And like, that is all very
people
speculative.
Are starting to
people
say
are,
it as fact.
People are like, yes, people are popping off with it to a dangerous level, I think, at this point, when you don't have evidence for all that. So, we're going to share you guys our thoughts. Since his lawsuit came out, he's suing them for $400 million.
Yep.
And I hope he wins.
That's a lot of money.
I hope he gets it all.
400. Do you think maybe they'll settle? Some people are like, oh, she's shitting bricks, so they're just going to come up with like a private settlement.
They should if they were smart, but I hope we're starting to see they're not smart.
I'm hoping this shit is like Amber Heard, Johnny Depp trial,
like
live stream coverage.
This is going to be,
this is what
I have a feeling it will probably be drug out because I think the two of them, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, have just massive egos, and I don't think they're going to be able to.
No.
And they still are claiming that when we come out, okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Lisa Barlow says, I'm going the distance. We're going to sue John, and we're going the distance.
Well, you guys don't look dumb. Unless they have more in their back pocket, which I don't know. By this point, you'd think they would have brought whatever they had forward. And
now they're
looking like a fucking liar.
But also, which we'll talk about more, she's asking for a gag order. And I'm like, why?
No, I know. How stupid.
Why?
That's the most insane thing to me is that she went on this like whole attack of him, worked with the New York Times, leaked them all this shit. And then as soon as he starts defending,
which I'm like, if you had everything to defend yourself, then you wouldn't be asking for that, right?
Right.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
Well, we're going to dig through all of that. We're not getting into that yet because we also have to talk about one of our least favorite people on the planet. Chris Brown.
This is a person that we have a definitive opinion on that will not change.
We fucking hate him.
And we fucking hate this bitch. And
I want him to go to jail.
The nerve of this fucker.
It's not surprising, of course. We saw this coming. So we had covered the recent docu-series,
Chris Brown, A History of Violence.
Yes, and that was produced by Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was released on Investigation Discovery. And so we have an episode covering that if you would like to go back and watch that, or just go watch the documentary because it's very eye-opening. But of course, on January 21st, Chris Brown came out that he is suing Warner Brothers for $500 million, claiming he was labeled as a serial rapist and abuser in the docuseries Chris Brown, A History of Violence. And it's like pretty hilarious because the history of violence is absolutely there, well documented. Yes, there were some things that were allegations, but there was a lot of it that was just fact, actual charges and everything. So the lawsuit claims, hang on, I need a coughing break. Why don't you mute me for a second? And I'm back. Okay. The lawsuit claims this case is about the media putting their own profits over the truth. The network aired the documentary knowing that it was full of lies and deception and violating journalistic principles. The filing claims that the woman, known as Doe, has already been discredited and accused of being violent and aggressive in past relationships. The lawsuit also states that Brown has never been convicted of any sex crimes, but the project portrays him as a serial rapist and sexual abuser.
You may never have been convicted of a sex crime, but you've been convicted of other crimes against women.
Mm-hmm. And you have a history of questionable behavior.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you have not actually been convicted, which just shows the failure of our system.
Yeah.
But there is lots of evidence against you, buddy. So his attorney claims that Chris has worked so hard to rebuild and redeem his reputation over the past decade. You okay there? You spitting? He deserves it. Spit in his face. As we mentioned in our episode, when we were covering the docuseries, Chris was charged with 2 felonies in 2009 after he beat his girlfriend at the time, Rihanna. I mean, everyone knows that story in that case. But Chris's lawsuit also includes alleged screenshots of a restraining order that Jane Doe's boyfriend supposedly filed against her in 2021, saying that she physically assaulted him with a knife and harassed him online.
Now, even if that's true, I don't really get what that has to do with your relationship.
It doesn't. It's just a way to try and discredit her. 2 things can be true at once.
Right. She can be a bad person, which I'm not saying, I don't know if this is true.
Or have done these things.
Yeah, and also be a victim of your crimes, Chris.
Uh-huh.
Butthole Brown.
Ooh, I like that, Butthole Brown. Butthole is brown. Booty hole brown.
He's nasty. He's got shit all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Wipe your butthole better, Chris. You nasty ass.
He never does.
I just
He's had
hate
shit
him.
on his ass for 20 years.
Hate this bitch.
I know, I hate
And
him.
the other day I was at, where the fuck was I? I don't know, some store. And Dance Forever was popping.
Why?
And I was like
Why?
sitting there all sad because when that song came out, I was like, that was a fire ass song.
I loved it.
And now I'm like, I can't listen to anything without his nasty ass in my head.
It's just unbelievable to me that, that was a Doublemint deal. Doublemint gum to remember that?
Yep,
and they even went as far as making him remove the lyrics that reference Doublemint gum in the song, but yet they're still playing it at like fucking Kohl's.
It was like someplace like that.
It's everywhere. I hear it all the time. And then I'll catch myself kind of like,
but I'm like,
no. It's just, he's such a massive disappointment, especially because, I mean, you can't lie. Chris Brown is very talented. I think he could have been one of the biggest stars on the planet. And I guess he kind of still is.
Yeah.
Because we, had gone over in that episode, like he's one of the most followed men on Instagram, which blew my mind to this day. How many people still support him? I'm sure some of you out there do, which if everything you know isn't going to change your mind, I'm certainly not going to. So anyway, a spokesperson from Investigation Discovery shared in a statement on Wednesday, January 22nd, "We stand behind the production and will vigorously defend ourselves against this lawsuit." Good for them. And I hope that they win. But he did pledge to donate a portion of the $500 million. Maybe he'll give like $500,000.
I was going to say, wonder what a portion means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I would actually maybe have some respect for you if you said like I'm donating half, or
he's like, here's
$10,000. Yeah, that's the type of shit he's gonna do. But yeah, he says he's gonna be donating that to sexual abuse victims if awarded,
which
it's laughable. Shut the fuck up.
I hate his ass.
I do
sucks.
too. I hope he loses. But
you
yeah,
should
that's
go
all
watch
there is
that
to say
documentary
at that
if you haven't already, or listen to our episode.
Yeah.
Very interesting, very eye opening, very disturbing. Not gonna lie, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is a real monster, and he's gotten away allegedly with a lot of fucking terrible crimes.
Yeah, I think that the history of violence as the overall title is perfectly fitting for it because yes, there is a lot of people, coming forward with allegations in their stories in that. And of course, we don't know 100% that they're true. We do believe victims in most cases.
Yep.
Other than Miss Blake. But you know what I'm saying? I think in a situation like that, in his, There are so many other things that they bring up in the documentary that are just factual. There's video evidence, there's proof.
For sure.
Yeah.
Don't forget his connection to Diddy.
That's right, Karelly.
Right. Ugh, God.
Many be having connections to Diddy.
Ugh.
That's heating up too.
Yeah, I was going to say, when's that taking off?
Oh, they're pulling it all together. There's a lot of documentaries and stuff coming out soon. We're planning to do some type of update on it on Mile Higher soon, and like just kind of because we did a big deep dive.
Yeah,
I think last fall,
just
November,
when everything started
October.
Really breaking open.
Yeah,
but
so
there's been so much.
We want to dig back in. We're just determining when would be a good time to do that. But anyway, that's all we have on that. We'll keep you guys updated there. I don't think he's gonna win.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I could see them settling also too, just because, I don't know, it seems like a lot of work to go through that whole thing. But
they said they're prepared to go after him.
True.
They're going to vigorously defend ourselves against this lawsuit. They're confident in it. So.
Well, I'm sure they're not shocked that this is coming.
No, I'm sure they expected it to.
Exactly. We'll see.
Yep. Let us know your thoughts.
In the past several months, I have taken it upon myself to go ahead and throw away all my old, gross, ill-fitting, uncomfortable, stretched out bras, okay? Because there is nothing worse than an uncomfortable bra. You gotta wear it all day, it's digging into your sides, it doesn't fit correctly. So I threw them out and I replaced all my bras with Skims bras. Truly, the top of my drawer now is filled with Skims bras. I have one on today. I wear one basically every single day. I've talked about them a million times. They are truly so comfortable. I cannot recommend them enough. I have so many bralettes from them that I wear all the time. They wash really well. They fit really well. They're super comfortable. I love the way that these bras make my girls look, especially if you've got a small chest like me. Maybe you need a little perky action, okay, to help them feel a little more lifted, a little more full. And Skims bras do just that. So shop Skims' best intimates, including the Fits Everybody collection and more at skims.com and Skims stores. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcasts in the survey and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. And if you're looking for the perfect gift for your Valentine or for yourself, Skims just launched their best Valentine shop ever. Available in sizes for women, men, and kids. Alrighty, you ready?
I'm ready.
Dive in.
I'm so fucking ready. This is blowing my mind.
I know. It's crazy. Now, we have been covering their lawsuits. I think this is probably the third episode that we are doing. So if you are completely confused and have no idea what's going on, if you live under a rock, essentially, then I suggest going to watch our other episodes, at least definitely the one that we covered. What was that? Probably 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, but keep in mind, in hindsight,
right,
they be looking different.
Well, we were just, in that sense. But also, I think we did a pretty good job just like laying out the facts. And honestly, like if you're confused, that you'll probably still be able to follow this pretty easily.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to follow, and a lot of it we're going over again because the new content has to do with what we've already covered. So
yeah,
you'll see.
And if you're looking for a deep dive breakdown of this lawsuit from someone who is an actual legal expert, can't recommend Emily D. Baker enough.
Yes.
I know she had I think 7-hour live stream just on his lawsuit alone.
Yeah,
she has tons of coverage. She's great.
She makes it easy to consume and understand.
But we're going to make it even easier to consume and understand because it's going to be a lot shorter.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, basically back on January 16th, the latest lawsuit dropped by Wayfair Studios. Justin Baldoni was suing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Blake's publicist, Leslie Sloan, and is seeking $400 million in damages, okay? That's a lot of money.
It
not as much as Chris Brown wants.
Back that up, though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that amount actually kind of makes sense with what they're claiming the damages and losses were.
Yeah. The suit alleges civil extortion, defamation, and various contract issues related to the movie, and it was filed in the Federal District Court for the Southern District of New York, okay? And the thing was 179 pages long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's got, long. Like I said last time, people, it's got the receipts, the proof, timeline, screenshots, fucking everything.
Mm-hmm. And it really does. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, when his lawyer said, just get ready. Yeah. Here's what's coming. What did he say? We're going to sue her into oblivion. Yep. I mean, they weren't lying. This is nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. It even has a clip that was released of raw footage from the filming.
Yep. Which I'm sure a lot of you have seen that. It's been going pretty viral, but we're going to go over it today
Taylor
as well.
Swift was named. Okay, they are
big names.
Big names being dropped.
She's the dragon.
Right. Which that whole thing, I never watched that show, so I'm still confused. But
oh, yeah, right.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
I watched like a couple episodes. It wasn't my cup of tea.
No. Okay. Well, anyways. Okay, so backing up just a little bit here. On December 20th of last year, Blake filed this like formal complaint with the California Civil Rights Department, accusing Justin, as well as others, of creating a hostile work environment and sexually harassing her and other crew members. And she claimed that after she spoke up, Justin retaliated by what Blake says, orchestrating a smear campaign aimed at discrediting her and the public.
Which was really crazy because she really orchestrated her own smear campaign.
Smear, as I mean, said. Smear campaign.
The stuff that was coming out did not look good. And it was really the court of public opinion. I mean, totally. I think people... It's so interesting to me, too, because I think the... PR firms and these teams behind these people are still operating as if it's like 15, 20 years ago where they, the landscape has completely changed. Now you're dealing with the court of public opinion and we don't give a fuck.
And it's never been stronger than it is now because social media.
Yes.
And
that's like the real jury.
Yeah, it's true.
And we will dig up anything.
I swear to God, people on the internet are FBI agents.
It really are.
It's crazy.
It's very useful.
So then after Blake's complaint, the New York Times published a hit piece which included conversations between Justin's team alleging how they would take Blake down, like we mentioned, okay? Now, of course, Justin is denying the allegations of sexual harassment and the smear campaign. And he says that all the negative press was a result of how Blake marketed the movie in interviews that she had in the past. Now, when this all happened in August, I wasn't here for the episode, but you three talked about the weirdness going on with the premiere.
Yeah, and we
all
were
that
very against Blake during all of that because it just spoke for itself. She just seemed mean and unprofessional and bitchy, and the way that she promoted the movie was whack as fuck.
Yeah, which we'll also get into more, because then there was like, oh, well, Sony wanted you to promote it this way. And then it's like, anyways.
Yeah, we'll explain that.
So Justin fires back with a $250 million defamation lawsuit against the New York Times. He accuses them of like cherry picking text messages and basically framing it to make him look like the bad guy without really giving the full receipt. Okay, just pieces of it.
Doing their due diligence to really look into the claims and see if they were true.
Exactly.
And it definitely seems that way. Definitely looks that way.
Yeah. And then Blake's complaint turned into a lawsuit against Wayfarer Studios, which if you don't know...
Wayfarer.
Right. I always say Wayfarer.
I know, you keep saying Wayfarer.
Wayfarer Studios. No, Wayfarer Studios. As well as Justin, as well as Jamie Heath, who is director and co-producer of the movie, Tag PR, and then a few more people having to do with Justin. And this was back the December 31st. So... now, Justin Baldoni has countersued Blake Lively as well as Ryan Reynolds. He's a very big name in all of this. And a lot of people, as we said, think that he is the real villain behind all of this.
The real ringleader.
Yep. As well as Leslie Sloan, who is PR person for Blake. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's so many names that are involved. So really things are confusing, but like, basically, the big names that you need to keep track of are Justin, Blake, and really Ryan Reynolds now.
Yeah. I'd also say probably Jamie Heath. Yeah.
Oh, and Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Friedman. Yeah.
Let's just get into the lawsuit, shall we? The whole thing starts by saying that this story was never really meant to be told, but Blake left them really no choice but to set the record straight and respond to all of her damaging allegations.
Yep. Meaning that if she had just, waited out the... this is actually their quote from it, that if they had waited out the negative and self-inflicted press that she faced in August of 2024, then the public likely would have moved on to the next drama and never known the truth about her. Couldn't agree more. You should have just left that one in the dirt. But this seems like it's something personal. It's a vendetta at this point.
Yep. The more that comes out, the more we're realizing that Blake is... not the type to just let things go, it seems.
No. And it's like, is it really her or is it Ryan?
Is it Ryan?
Or is it both?
Yeah,
that's true.
So, but people are like, oh, this is hurting her ego. She's not just going to let this go. She's pissed and wants to retaliate.
And it seems like a lot of her anger is also because of not only the schmear, but the failed launches of her brands.
Yes.
And that has really pissed her off. Because didn't one of them, wasn't it the booze one, or maybe the hair care? What's the hair care?
Blake Brown.
Blake Brown. Didn't they already have to like file for bankruptcy or something? What? I saw they were like dunzo.
Really?
Maybe I'm getting confused, but I thought it did not go well, and
it's in Target.
Is it?
I've not seen it. I have not seen it like on display.
I did see it. One time I was passing by and they had like a little thing for it, but that was a bit ago. But it's on Target's website.
Okay, maybe I just misread that. I saw that it had like really tanked.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyways, regardless, yeah, she was really trying to plug her products.
It did have like declined sales.
Yeah.
Like 78%.
It really bombed.
I wonder if it's any good.
Bankruptcy's around the corner.
I wonder if it's good.
I remember Lena Ayad did a review of it.
Did she like it?
I can't remember.
She did. I
did
remember.
She?
Yeah,
she ended up liking it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care enough to try it myself.
Well, in the suit, I'm going to read you a couple of highlighted parts here, starting with Lively stole Wayfarer's movie, hijacked Wayfarer's premiere, destroyed plaintiffs' personal and professional reputations and livelihood, and aimed to drive plaintiffs out of business entirely. The CRD complaint was filed only after defendants spent months feeding falsehoods to the New York Times, intending that they be disseminated to damage plaintiffs. Lively delivered the CRD complaint to plaintiffs over the Christmas holiday, and rather than promptly filing a lawsuit, Lively, on information and belief, leaked the typically private CRD complaint to the public, utilizing the New York Times to basically send out her revenge. So, yeah, it was
As a very,
I was going to say it was a very like strategic move. Instead of just her releasing it, she went through the New York Times.
That's safe to say that was a very strategic move that backfired big time.
Yes.
Stupid.
It goes on to say, on information and belief, Lively never intended to file a civil lawsuit, which would have triggered plaintiff's right to discovery, including obtaining evidence and disposing Lively under oath. By the time Lively actually filed a lawsuit against plaintiffs, the damage to plaintiffs was done by virtue of Lively's months of colluding with the New York Times on a false and malicious narrative, unshielded by any privilege. Make no mistake, these actions were deliberate.
Agreed.
Okay. Now, I will say this. I think some of Justin's claims are like, he's kind of just like, for instance, it starts with him being like, well, she never read the book. And I think that's kind of stupid to pin up against these much more serious claims.
It seems like it doesn't belong in the lawsuit.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Definitely looks stupid as fuck. I think it gives you context, and maybe that's important to the lawsuit.
I guess. I don't know, man.
I struggle with that too.
I just thought that was such a dumb part. Yeah, I think it's stupid if it's true.
But he's playing the stupid games that she has been playing this whole time. You know, she's bringing up a lot of things that aren't true or are irrelevant.
Yeah.
And something like that, I think, is important for the public to know. And it's not like he's going to just get out on his social media and be like, hey, Blake didn't read the book, because that makes her look really bad.
Right.
And
it's
I know
very stupid.
There were people arguing that there are other actors that purposely choose not to read books that are adapted into films because it helps them. I think, if I remember right, someone had commented saying that Dumbledore's, who's the actor? He's very famous. I probably should know.
Didn't he die?
Yes, he did pass. But I believe someone was saying can you guys look it up if he read the book and that he purposely didn't do it? And then some actors do that for a reason, to not let it kind of taint their perception of the character based on the script.
Sure.
Especially if it's like off script. He did not. He did not. Okay, so Michael Gambon. Yeah, he chose not to read it. And I don't think it was because he was just lazy and didn't want to read it. In a movie like this that's so heavily adapted to the book.
Yeah.
Also, it just looks horrible to not read. It looks so lazy and unprofessional.
I do agree. I think that it was stupid that she didn't read it, assuming that she did not. I do think it's a little odd to add that into all the other much more serious and
I see what you mean.
Troubling complaints.
I think it's just like playing tit for tat with her games.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that she was bringing up. Let's read exactly what it says. Right. The film was the hotly anticipated adaptation of a worldwide best-selling book by Colleen Hoover. And by starring in it as Lily, Lively stood to enhance her already considerable star power. But she was not content merely to headline the year's biggest movies. Instead, apparently driven by overweening, that's a new word to me, overweening ambition and need for control. Maybe it's a typo because they actually did have several typos.
Yes, they did. Especially one of them, Miss Baldoni.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It was interesting.
Lively eventually leveraged her power as a wealthy celebrity to wrest the reins from her co-star and the film's director, Baldoni, insisting on total control of every aspect of the film she could get her hands on from wardrobe. I mean, does that even talk about the book, though? I don't know.
Well, then there was a text between Baldoni and Heath back in September of 2023, part of it reading, and this again is from Justin, while I understand Blake's reasons for not wanting to read the book does a very good job in getting in Lily's mind during her interactions with Ryle, which is Justin's character's name, and setting up the why behind her attraction to him, which ultimately helps us understand why she stays in the end.
I guess I'm not an actor, so I can't speak, but from an outsider's perspective, if I was playing a character that was based on a book,
first thing
I'd fucking read the book.
Totally.
I just don't really get that. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe there's some method acting behind that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's weird.
I do too.
I was going to say that he also made a point to, like, that's why she, again, I think we said, but she didn't understand, but then was trying to take control, but like didn't have the correct vision because she didn't like know what was actually going on.
Sure.
That's a good point, Sydney. Yeah. If you're going to go into something not reading the book, I feel like you've got to completely trust the people who did and have written this, and you're an actor, not a director. So for her to have come in, which we will get into, and try to take control of the film so much without even having read the book, that makes it look even worse. And maybe that's why they included it, that, you know, she had no right to step in and try to act like she knew what was best when she didn't even fucking read it.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So if you scroll on social media, you are pretty much bombarded with every other post about some ridiculous product that has crazy claims and is going to change your life, make you strong, make you live forever, whatever it may be. And I'm always like, how does anyone actually trust what products are out there and know what's good and what is crap? Well, our next sponsor is The Real Deal, you guys, because Orgain has delicious products that are also protein-packed. Orgain is famous for their organic plant protein powder. It packs 21 grams of complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids. All Orgain products are made from USDA-certified organic ingredients, so I know I'm getting the nutrition I need without the things I try to avoid, like soy ingredients, artificial sweeteners, flavors, or preservatives. And what's really great is that it could not be easier to use. All you have to do is just add water and you're good to go. No more time-consuming prep to get you the nutrients that you actually need. I'm always looking for a way to get more plant-powered protein into my diet, and Orgain is the perfect solution for that, especially after I work out and go to the gym. Come home, make myself a little protein shake. It's filling, it's nutritious, and it's really, really tasty. Plus, from protein bars to shakes to tons of other nutritional products, Orgain has something that the whole family will love. Remember, there are no quick fixes when it comes to your health. If you want more protein, give Orgain Organic Plant Protein Powder a try. Head to Orgain.com/Sesh30 and use code Sesh30 for 30% off your order. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use our code Sesh30 for 30% off. One last time, for 30% off, head to Orgain.com/Sesh30 and use our code Sesh30.
So anyway, Taylor Swift has been dragged in, which I'm sure her and her team are fucking thrilled about.
I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah, it's just...
Taylor Swift is one of the most powerful people on this planet.
Yeah, they're not.
She also has an army that's bigger than the U.S. fucking army behind her. So
yeah, well, not only the fans, but just like her team. She has the best,
of course,
people behind her, and it's just so messy. And if she really did like come to help Blake, I know they're friends, and why would you do that by bringing her into all of it?
Yeah, I think it's weird.
So, of course, news outlets have been totally clinging on to that because it's a big headline. Now Taylor's in this shit. Okay. So, interestingly, Justin's lawsuit doesn't name Taylor specifically. Instead, it said Blake and Ryan's mega celebrity friend. So, okay, let me do the math. Obviously, that is Taylor.
And it was mentioned in a text message.
Yeah.
Which wasn't ever, her name was like redacted from every text message except for that one.
Right.
So I'm thinking it was just a mistake. They forgot to redact her.
Which I'm like, whoopsie, I'm sure she's thrilled about that. That's really a stupid ass thing to mistake, but okay.
They did a lot of mistakes.
Or unless they just purposely left it in and tried to make it seem like it was a mistake.
Yeah. Playing hardball.
Mega celebrity friend.
Well, apparently this mega celebrity friend, aka Taylor Swift, attended that meeting in New York City at the Penthouse, which we talked about. We had mentioned that there was talk that there was some like high profile celebrities there as well.
Yep.
And that Justin was ambushed. And they were talking about the infamous rooftop scene, which this is at the beginning of the movie. I don't understand why so much has been made about this stupid scene. It was like pretty short.
I think it's because it literally sets, no pun intended, this scene of the whole movie.
Yeah, I guess it's when they meet.
It's when they meet. It's introducing the characters separately as well as together and their chemistry. And I think it also kind of like shows the characters' intentions. Like Blake's looking... didn't she ask him like, do you want to fuck or something? And then he was like, oh, didn't she say that? I'm pretty sure she said,
do you want to fuck?
No, but I'm pretty sure she was like, I'm looking to have sex.
What?
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
I'm
almost positive.
No, I don't know. You watched it on 2 times speed.
Yeah, and I think I still have.
I don't remember that.
Okay, I'm literally...
I thought she was like kind of that you're saying not in the movie.
No, in the movie.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty
that from
positive
the movie,
she was like, I'm trying to hook up or like have a one night. Okay, we're looking this up right now because I'm pretty sure I'm right.
It's been a while since I've seen it, like a month.
I don't know how to look this up though because I don't have the movie.
Did Blake Lively say you want to fuck? I'm looking for a one night stand. I thought she was like depressed after her dad's funeral and that he was just kind of up there.
No, she was up there first. He comes out. He's like kicking the chair, all pissy.
Oh, right.
He gets off the phone
because he was mad about like a brain surgery that went wrong.
And then he talks, and then he's like,
"Don't listen to me."
And then I'm pretty sure she's like, "We should hook up." I'm looking.
Hold on, I'm watching it right now.
I thought it was more like he was more into her, and she was like, "eh."
The 2-minute thing?
Yeah, because then he comes by the flower shop later and she's like annoyed that he's even there.
Because for some reason it like wasn't going to work. Or maybe he's...
Okay, wait. It's coming back to me.
One of them...
I'm watching it right now.
All right. One of them says they...
All right, Karelly will determine. Let's take a little break. Karelly will watch.
Yeah, he says, I want to have sex with you.
That's one of the two.
He said, I want to have sex with you? Damn, I forgot.
Okay, sorry. That. So I mixed up my people, but I knew one of them said, I want to fuck you.
Okay, that makes more sense that it was him, though. Because I remember her whole storyline in the beginning is like,
no.
I don't want anything.
But then isn't she like, all right, screw it, why not? And then they are about to start hooking up, and then
hold on,
whatever, some drama. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares, honestly.
Okay.
But thank you, Karelly, for the confirmation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyways, I think the whole point is the scene sets the tone for the whole movie. And that's why I think it's so...
It's a pivotal moment.
You know, the whole, who actually wrote the scene? Did Blake? Maybe Ryan wrote it. They were interfering, blah, blah, blah.
Well, according to Justin's lawsuit, Blake sent him a long text message asking if she could take a pass at writing the scene, the rooftop scene. And yeah, this was a pivotal moment in the movie. So he was reluctant, of course, as the director, to allow an actor instead of a union screenwriter to rewrite the scene. But he felt pressured. Obviously, she's very powerful. Ryan's powerful. So he let her rewrite the scene and agreed to take a look at it. But, that was under the assumption of like, take a crack at it and I will take a look. Mm-hmm. However, her rewrite was very different from the original scene. And understandably, he was hesitant about the many changes. So ultimately, he thanked her for her passion, and Blake did not like being told that. But he told her that the scene would likely be somewhere between the original and her version. So it's still like giving her a little...
I was going to say, I think that's
wiggles.
Pretty generous.
Yeah.
Especially the opening scene. You get to help rewrite some of it, man. Mm-hmm.
And after telling her this, Blake didn't respond for multiple days. Clearly doesn't like being told no. or not getting her way fully. Mm-hmm. And so eventually she texted him.
All right, so here's a text. As for Redacted and Ryan, and Redacted for that matter, which we think that Taylor's probably at least in one of those redacteds. She says, I'm the luckiest motherfucker on the planet to have them as my dance moms level stage moms. They are embarrassingly effusive. That said, they're also my most trusted partners and the people I go to first with anything creative I touch. And I'm the person they each go to first. That reciprocal creativity and support has been one of my life's greatest and most fulfilling gifts.
Oh.
When they loved and signed off on the pages, I felt good to send them to you. They asked what you thought specifically after. They checked in so many times. I told them that you laughed a bunch and said it's probably a blend, but you appreciate my passion so much, which of course didn't feel great to me or them. To have my passion be praised instead of any specific contribution, or even just that you didn't like the pages, which was also fine. So I think they wanted you and me to see how they felt about the work because they've been on my side for far too many experiences where I've been overlooked.
Maybe it's
for a reason.
Yeah.
I spoke to you about this when we first met. They've watched me handwrite scripts because the director is too afraid to send the FDX file. Yeah, he scans and has someone hand type all 120 pages of my pencil rewrites. Girl, get a fucking laptop. They've watched me be hired as a writer and paid a significant fee for it, but on the condition that I never ask for credit, which I could give a shit about. It's more the principle of the dynamics at play. They've watched the other side too of it, to where I'm told at signing on that I'm wanted as a true collaborator, but once we get to work, I'm really just wanted as a yes man, audience, and actor.
What you were hired to do.
Yeah.
So entitled.
I know. Both Ryan and Redacted, which is a tiny redacted, so I think it's probably T.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both Ryan and, we think, T, have established themselves as absolute titans, as writers and storytellers outside of their primary gig, just signing or just acting or...
Or no, so just singing.
Just thank you.
That gives it away.
Yeah. Just singing or just acting or blank, just directing. I'm so lucky to have them as creative barometers.
Barometers.
Cool. She's got lots of big words. But also to have them as people who prop me up and make sure I'm seen for all I can and do offer, because they know firsthand all I contribute. Like, what? This is so much. Just say
You
bummer.
just want to be like them so bad.
Good God, it's annoying. They also know I'm not always as good at making sure I'm seen and utilized for fear of threatening egos or fear of affecting the ease of the process. They don't give a shit about that, and because of that, everyone listens to them with immense respect and enthusiasm. So I guess I have to stop worrying about people liking me.
This is so embarrassing.
Why also is Taylor like involved in this when she's not in the movie industry?
Her music was
Because she's her titan. She's her
I know
dragon.
I know her music was in it, but that has nothing to do with the plot line.
Oh, her music wasn't it?
Yeah, her song.
Oh, right. Which one?
I don't fucking know.
But I think it's because like they're best friends.
Okay,
and
but, like-
she's a creative person. And
But you were never asked to be part of this or hired onto this project, and
Exactly.
suddenly you're there.
Exactly.
I don't think, obviously, Blake does not give a fuck.
no,
Clearly not.
no. She probably wanted to try to scare him because those are her titans.
Hmm.
Like, I don't
Which
know.
I think worked.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it. I think
do
it
too.
did.
I think
yeah.
it definitely was like a fuck.
Get the pull of these
Yeah.
two. Yeah, especially Taylor.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So Taylor entered the meeting as it was ending and began praising Blake's script. And like we said, her music was in the movie, but that was
I remember the
extent.
song now. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't know the name of it, but yeah, I remember like from the promos and stuff.
Um,
Da-na-na-na-na. Yeah, that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, I mean, he basically was like, this is low-key a threat without being a threat, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then what I'm about to read here was the text exchange between Justin and Blake. So Blake says, if you send me the FDX, I'll work when I can steal moments. And yes, of course, send to Christy. We're all on the same team with the same goal. He says, great.
I'll play Justin today. You play Blake.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
He says,
Please, you get to be the hero.
I'll be Blake.
No, it's fine.
I'd
Go.
actually love to be Blake.
No, it's fine. You could pass as Blake with your hair color and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of like, and I got the flannel, kind of giving me
Totally.
Blake vibes. I'll
Yeah.
be Blake.
Oh,
Okay, somebody
okay.
started again then.
Okay.
If you send me the FDX file, I'll work when I can steal moments. 'Cause I'm so busy. And yes, of course, please send to Christy. We're all on the same team with the same goal.
Great. Also, was working on rooftop scenes today. I really love what you did. It really does help a lot. Makes it so much more fun and interesting. And I would have felt that way without Ryan and Taylor. Bingo!
Yeah. Would you have
Did you purposely do that or not?
Mm-hmm.
Winky face. You really are a talent across the board. Really excited and grateful to do this together.
If he is just trying to, gas her up so that she participates
Yeah,
and is like
and isn't-
easier to work with,
Mhm.
like I don't even blame him for that. When
No.
you're dealing with someone like that,
Yeah.
sometimes that's the easiest way.
Totally.
Especially when you invested so much time and money,
Just better to
There's
shut the fuck
There's
up
some
and
dick
deal with
sucking
it.
going on.
Totally.
But like sometimes it's needed.
Poor Justin, his jaw's sore.
She says, that's very appreciated, and it means a lot. I'm deeply inspired by the film that we're going to make outside of the success of the book. We have
That I never read.
Yeah, exactly. Outside of the success of the book. Forget that fucking book. We have such an opportunity to not only surprise people who love the book, but reach an even bigger audience by making an undeniably dynamic and also commercial film. Keyword commercial. Money, 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 money. The moment that excited me most the other day was when you said you're not funny. You are going to kill that rooftop scene. You know it, I'm sure. Even though it was said in a playful self-deprecation that we all participate in, it made me think of the process as a whole. Please know I trust that on the day you've got me, and I hope that you trust that I've got you if you want it. We're in this together, and we are two of the most determined people I know. Imagine referring to yourself as one of the most determined people you know.
Listen, I'm the most determined person I know. Oh, boy.
We also have very high bars set for ourselves. To collaborate with this type of partner is a gift that neither of us will squander because we both care too much about the result and the experience. I have no motives except for you to win. As director, as an actor, as a studio, as a writer. If you win, I win. And if our movie wins, we are aligned. And I will bring everything I have to this.
All right, so all is well, right?
Mm-hmm. Seems to be.
We're clicking along just fine. After the meeting, Justin texted Blake and emphasized that he liked her script and didn't need Ryan and Taylor to pressure him. Okay. Now Blake responds that they, Ryan and Taylor, were her dragons.
She says, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I am Khaleesi. And like her, I happen to have a few dragons, for better or for worse, but usually for better. Because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from these gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you.
If your voice actually sounded like that in real life, I'd have to stop being friends with you.
Me too.
All right. So to say that Blake was quote unquote difficult to work with would be a large understatement, according to this whole lawsuit.
Sounds like a nightmare to work with.
Right. Justin gave her an inch to change the part of the script, and Blake took a mile.
Yep, clearly.
And her constant changes began to alarm the producers, director, and studio because it disrupted the carefully planned production schedule, which I could imagine, creating a movie project timeline must be one of the most detailed and complicated things in Hollywood.
And they're like, oh, seems we have a new fucking director now who wants to be, completely involved in everything, even though she was hired on as an actor. But she's got dragons behind her, so we've got no other choice.
Correct.
We might get like fire blown or something.
Yep.
Fire burning.
So not only was this incredibly stressful for the whole production crew, but it was also a large financial strain on Wayfarer.
And then remember how Blake said that Ryan rewrote the rooftop scene during that red carpet interview? I believe we've played the clip at some point. I'm sure we have. But it completely contradicts her saying that she wrote the scene. So why would she even say that? Sony came to Wayfarer and told them that they needed to clarify Ryan's involvement. Because that's how it seems, is she was making it sound like, to everyone else she was working with on the project, that she did this on her own. I'm never taken seriously, blah, 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 blah. But then out in press, she's like, Ryan did this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, so here's an email from Sony Legal Affairs. It says, "Hi, redacted. We certainly need some clarity on public comments made about Ryan Reynolds potentially contributing writing services for the rooftop scene. Can you provide additional information on this, as there are no contracts, his services are not in the chain, nor is his name anywhere in the credits. One of the many media reports which cite this claim made by Blake Lively," and then there's a link. Thank you for clarifying. Okay, so then Wayfarer Teams responds with, "Hello, your email was shared with me by Redacted in order to address this concern. We are not aware of any writing services rendered by Ryan Reynolds. Regardless of what is being said publicly, this is not something we are aware of. We are learning about these allegations in real time."
So this is so confusing, but if he really did have no involvement, why would she go around saying that and belittle herself, that my husband had to come in and do it for me? Why wouldn't she take the credit if she actually wrote it? So it seems like he must have wrote it.
Yeah.
That's contradicting everything she's like quote unquote standing for in this whole lawsuit too.
Like, girl, pick a story and stick with it. What the fuck are you two doing?
The only reason maybe she did that is because if she took credit, then that just makes her look even more like a pain in the ass, like she's trying to control the narrative in the movie.
I think it looks even worse if you're even more of a pain in the ass if your husband, who's not even involved in any of this, has come in and written it.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't know. Okay, this is like a total side tangent, but I feel like, I don't know.
It's relevant.
It's definitely still relevant, yeah.
Because this is where like a lot of the speculation comes in.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
We will explain.
You have to understand this in order to understand the speculation.
Yeah, because so Blake and Ryan, they met on the set of the Green Lantern in 2010, which I understand was like a really bad Marvel movie. At least my sister always tells me that, and she's like a Marvel queen. So I never saw that one. But he was married to Scarlett Johansson at the time from 2008 to 2011, and their divorce was finalized in July of 2011. Now, Blake was in a relationship with Penn Badgley, who was her co-star in Gossip Girl, which I've never seen. But he was also the main guy in You, which I hated that show. I know a lot of people really liked it. I don't get why.
Wasn't it about like a psychologist who was like obsessed with
He was just he wasn't a psychologist.
He like worked at a bookstore.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he killed. He's weird.
But he was like,
it's a
psychological
stalker.
It's a psychological movie.
Yes,
show.
Sort of on the same.
I thought he was a psychologist that became obsessed with a client.
No. He just became I just thought it was so poorly done and ridiculous. But this first season wasn't as bad. I'll give it that. There were some interesting moments. It just got progressively worse from there. But I know it has a lot of huge fans. So
last season's not too bad.
Offend you?
Not too bad.
Okay. Well, anyway, doesn't really matter. She ended that relationship with Penn in December of 2010, and then A source later confirmed that they were a couple and they spent the holidays together in the Reynolds' hometown of Vancouver. Then, September 9th, 2012, they married in a private ceremony at the Boone Hall Plantation in South Carolina, which we've mentioned, I think, probably every episode that we've covered this. That was just
fucking bizarre. I don't know why people do that.
Yeah, and people still fucking do that.
Yes, they do.
Mind-blowing to me why you would ever want to, you know, have your beautiful wedding ceremony in a place like that.
I agree.
Of destruction and torture and just horrific traumas for decades.
I know.
Why would you ever want to do that?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's besides the point, I guess.
But here's where the speculation comes to play.
Yeah,
people.
So of course you kind of do the math on that. You start thinking. People are speculating now that they cheated on their partners during the making of the Green Lantern because because almost a year later, Blake and Ryan announced that they were in a relationship only a year later, which of course could have happened. Maybe there was nothing going on.
Sure.
But now there is a lot of talk of, you know, what really happened. Because of course, and Karelly, you know, because you were into Gossip Girl, right?
Yeah.
And Sydney, you were too, right?
I mean, I don't.
To some degree?
Yeah, to like some degree. I don't know a lot of details.
They dated for a really long. Penn Badgley and Blake Lively dated for a really long time, though.
Oh, okay.
I just think it's interesting that, you know, she dated both of her co-stars at one point or the other.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, like you're getting feelings for them, you know what I mean? So
because that leads us to
right. And you know, we're gonna get through the messages, but there's a lot of like undertone flirtation going on. Even in the video that we're gonna watch here soon, there's just a lot of like. There's vibes in the air.
Yeah. And then that's really where like a lot of the speculation is. Like there are several people, and I think most of it's coming from Candace Owens, who has now inserted herself into this majorly. And she said she's putting on her investigation cap and she's doing treadmill tea updates. And so she's like convinced that there was feelings between Blake and Justin.
But this is like truly speculative.
Yeah. Yeah. There is no proof of it.
Come up
beyond
with your own
just,
conclusion.
Yeah.
Based on the receipts and shit that we will.
Same
read.
thing with Blake and Ryan. It was all speculation.
Right.
Yeah.
There was never anything that like, it's all speculation.
Right.
Well, there was this quote from Scarlett Johansson about her marriage with Ryan, which is kind of interesting. Again, it's all really besides the point, but it's kind of interesting to look at. It says the logistics of being with another actor are challenging. There has to be a real understanding of how you share your time, especially when two people's careers are going at the same rate. Or even if one person is more successful than the other, that also proves challenging. There may be a competitive thing, which I don't think that's really a statement you make unless you've experienced that yourself. I think it's a real roundabout way of saying like it got competitive between the two of us and maybe on Ryan's side.
Yep.
So just food for thought there. But let's jump forward and talk, since we have brought up Candace Owens, because she is like, she's fully come into this with her investigative hat and like her treadmill tea time and whatever. She's on TikTok mostly talking about it and going on and on and on. And like, I am very much not a fan of Candace Owens. So I take what she says
watching
with a
her
grain
clip,
of salt.
I was like, ugh.
It's like
so
some of the things that she's bringing up are interesting to think about, but it's very speculative. But that's how she always operates, right? Like she will just go off of nothing and completely assassinate someone's character without really having any proof besides her inside sources. But it's like we don't know who these people are.
Right.
But I will say some of what she says, like I could see it being true.
Same.
I could see it being true.
I could also see it not being true.
Yes. Also, yeah. Right.
But usually what she says, I think she's full of crap. So I guess.
So there's also.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Cut you off.
No, I had nothing else to say.
So there's also a TikToker. His account is called Be Better, and I really like him from what I've seen. This is the first I've heard of him, but he's been covering this and like completely reading through the entire lawsuits.
Yeah,
and his takes have been very interesting.
Video like playlist on it.
5-part.
Sorry, 5-page. But yeah, he read through all the pages of it, and I loved the way he explained it. Thought he was very interesting.
I like the way he speaks.
Me too.
It's very like, I don't know how to, like comforting and
I liked
satisfying.
I liked it.
He's got like kind of an ASMR-y voice.
Yeah. I agree.
I like that dude.
Me too.
Don't know much about him, but
don't know anything about him.
Him and his grandma started a honey company, which is why his name is Be
Better.
Better.
Yeah, turn up, sir. I like honey.
Out.
Anyways, okay, so in his 5-part video, he highlighted a claim by Candace Owens suggesting that Ryan Reynolds is the true villain behind the feud, okay?
And it really seems like he really believes that,
He believed it.
Because, I mean, he had one recently where he was like, Ryan Reynolds is going to take down my TikTok account. If your team is watching this, like, fuck you, basically.
And he was like, which... everyone's going to know it's you. But also, if you guys come out with something that's, supportive of Blake, I will be the first to report it. So he seems like he's very much trying to be non-biased and just report the facts to an extent.
Did he ever really explain why he thinks his account's going to be deleted? Because he's like, my account is at risk of being deleted. I know your team is watching this. Like, did he get a letter or something? I don't know.
Not that I know of. I don't know why he...
Unless he didn't share.
But his account's still up, so I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, so Candace says... Yesterday, I received a tip from someone who allegedly worked on the set of It Ends With Us. Lately, everyone is bashing Blake Lively, but apparently the true villain in this saga is ... Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan. Yeah, it makes me kind of sad. I always really liked him.
Yeah, same. And then on January 24th, she posted a bunch of Instagram stories detailing allegations from an anonymous source who claimed to have worked on the set of the movie. And according to this source, which I want to know who this source is, Ryan unexpectedly appeared on set during production to review the dailies, which is basically just a term for raw footage that was filmed that day, which I didn't know this, but is something that most people on set don't get
access to.
To.
And why would they?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
And it's like, he's not even on set.
No.
Has nothing to do with this. And he's just showing up and be like, look, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Give me the dailies.
Now, Justin's lawsuit alleges that Blake was unusually persistent in asking for access to the dailies, which, again, like I just said, is something that's not typical for actors to be granted. But back to the Ryan incident here, Candace said she was told this info but cannot verify that after Ryan reviewed the dailies, production assistants reportedly overheard him and Blake arguing in her trailer. And then in a follow-up post, she added that her source also claimed Ryan later confronted Justin's talent agency, WME, urging them to drop Justin and labeling him as a sexual predator. So the theory is that it wasn't Blake who wanted the dailies, it was Ryan who wanted them. Again, this is just a theory. But this is, why she said that Ryan is the real villain in all of this.
That, like, a theory in the sense that it comes from her source, who we don't know who it is, and may have zero credibility, and who knows.
Yeah, exactly.
She could be being fed bad information, but I don't know.
Yeah. So, Be Better points out that Ryan's behavior isn't all that surprising. So let's rewind to when Blake told Justin she rewrote the rooftop scene. Later, during a red carpet interview, Blake admitted it was actually Ryan who rewrote the scene. So like Kendall and I were just talking about, like, okay, so who was it? And this poses the question of, like, was Ryan jealous of Blake and Justin's relationship on set? Was there more to the chemistry than just acting chemistry? Is there some validity in real life chemistry?
Is it? Yeah, it's possible. Or is it something more where he just doesn't have any faith in Blake and wants to have control of this to, like, help skyrocket her career and make it the best possible because he thinks he is the best?
Yeah. So the anonymous source also alleged that after the argument, Ryan began frequently showing up on set, acting like Blake's chaperone and involving himself in the production process, even going as far as writing lines for the film. Again, we don't know if this is true. This could be total BS. I don't really know. But if it's true, why the fuck are you on set, you weirdo? You have nothing to do with this. Get off. I don't know. It's so bizarre.
You would think he'd have, like, other things to do. Isn't he quite busy?
Yeah. Now...
And they have 4 kids, not to mention all the work he does, so...
Yeah. Also, this is kind of a side note, but something that's definitely circulating in the media here is there's this old clip from 2006. 2006. From 2006 on MTV when Blake is talking to some of, like, her co-stars from the movie Accepted, including Justin Long, Jonah Hill, and Lewis Black. And Justin says, quote,
I didn't realize she was in Accepted.
I know. I
She's the main
forgot
girl.
about that.
Isn't that college movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the one we did some coverage on some of the guys from that
Jonah
movie
Hill.
as well. Jonah, but I thought
And
Justin Long too.
Yeah, we did do.
Because I think Justin Long had he
was accused
did a video.
of something.
No, not did a video. He wrote a letter in support of Danny Masterson, I think.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But also the whole Jonah Hill thing with I can't
His
remember
His
her
girlfriend
name.
or whatever, the surfer girl.
Yes, yeah, that too. But also the accusations that came from
Oh, Alexa
Nichols.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Justin says in this clip, by the way, not Justin Baldoni, Justin Long, says, quote, "When hot girls say they're geeks, it really pisses me off because I truly am a geek and I have to live with that." Then Blake responds with a story from high school where they wore dark makeup. And then she says, quote, "I put bronzer all over myself and a Scary Spice afro." Well, fro, she says. "So I thought they would think I was like a black girl so I could stalk them."
What the fuck?
Let's just watch the
The
clip,
lines from
honestly.
both of them are like,
I
what
know,
the fuck
it's
is
so
happening?
And then watching them say it is even more
And this
like,
was
huh?
2006, so like,
Yeah, I don't know. It's like she sounds like a fucking idiot in this.
oh no, her for sure, but him with like the geek thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess it was like kind of a different time. You could say like hot girls can't be geeks, but nowadays it's like,
What does that mean?
yeah, it's stupid. But yeah, hers just by then was definitely, what the fuck are you doing?
When hot girls say they're geeks, it pisses me off because I truly am a geek and I have to live with that. You guys are, yes, rebuttal.
Excuse me. When my best friend and I, when we were in 10th grade, we had like crazy crushes. We would drive around, like stalk these guys. We decided one night to go to the arcade where they were, and I put bronzer all over myself in a Scary Spice fro, so I thought they would think I was like a black girl. And so I could stalk them. My friend dressed up as like this goth girl, and we literally sat outside their houses.
Such a geek.
That's like her, that's her attempt at saying she's a geek.
Nerdy, doing blackface.
What the fuck?
I know, it's terrible.
What the fuck? The more I see of her, like, I've gone from just disliking her to
She's
like,
really
I
annoying.
really like hate her.
She's very annoying. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with the lawsuit, but it kind of just speaks to her character.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot.
you're kind of scummy, dude.
I haven't seen many things that speak well of her character. And maybe
No.
granted that's because the only things that are going around and going viral
are
are
yeah.
bad. But like, and I'm not a fan of her, so I haven't seen any like good moments from her. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. She just like seems pretty fucking whack all around the board.
Yeah, I agree.
Across the board.
I agree.
So as I have talked about many times, we have been using meal kits since my daughter was born on a consistent weekly basis, and it has made such a massive difference in our life when it comes to healthy eating, also time saving, just overall easiness of the whole thing. So we are huge meal kit fans, but recently I've been introduced to Hungry Root, and I've got to tell you, I am so impressed. It is so different than all the other meal kits on the market. The quality is so much better. It is even easier than any of the other ones I've tried. Like most of the recipes are 3-4 steps maybe, and they also taste really good. But I love that you can make it so customized. Like for example, with a lot of other meal kits, you have to commit to a certain amount of servings for the week. But with Hungry Root, you can get some 2-serving meals, and you can get some 4-serving meals, and then you can really customize the ingredients. Like if there's a meal where there's an ingredient in it that you're not a fan of, you can actually just skip it, and it won't come and be wasted by you just throwing it out. Hungry Root is like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist all wrapped into one. They take care of the weekly grocery shopping, recommending healthy groceries and meals tailored to your taste, nutrition preferences, and health goals. I think that's also something that sets them apart from the others on the market is they have grocery shopping options as well. And if you've got kids, they also offer a bunch of great kids snacks. And all of Hungry Root's recipes can be made in just 15 minutes or less. With over 15,000 recipes shipped weekly, there's really something for every taste and nutritional preference. There's no high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, or preservatives in any of Hungry Root's food. They only source top quality meat and seafood free of hormones and antibiotics. So far, my favorite meal has been the garlic soy salmon, and that also came with noodles and zucchini, and it was Oh my God, so good. I ate every single last bite of that one. So you're going to love Hungry Root as much as I do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, you can get 40% off your first box plus a free item in every box for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/sesh and use code SESH. That's hungryroot.com/sesh. Code SESH to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. That's hungryroot.com/sesh. Code SESH.
Let's talk about the fat shaming. We talked about this in depth. But basically, Blake alleges that Justin fat shamed her after asking about her weight and what he could do to prepare for a scene where she is lifted up by him.
And when we first talked about this and like throughout this entire thing, we've been on Justin's side with this from the beginning. Yes. I know we got some heat for that in the beginning, but I think now people have come around to understand how just ridiculous she is.
Which, by the way, the scene never ended up even making the cut. It was totally cut out, supposedly, because Ryan demanded it. Anyways, but the way that she originally pitched this made it sound so bad, but it's really not bad at all. So Justin,
I think even the way she originally pitched it didn't sound bad, but
I don't know. Now it definitely, there's like no question.
Really clear, yeah.
So Justin was introduced to the trainer Dawn by Blake, who then became his personal trainer.
So they have the same trainer.
They have the same trainer. Okay, guys?
So Dawn directed Justin's preparation for the movie, which included his nutrition and his exercise, making special accommodations for his back injury, which we've talked about was pretty severe. He was even hospitalized, I think, during the filming of the movie for a serious spinal injury.
He had a liquid in his spine or something like that.
Yikes.
Yeah, not good. So yeah, he would make these special accommodations for his back injury and even buying Dawn's meal delivery service. He had like a whole healthy meal program that was delivered to him. And here's a text exchange between the two of them. Okay, speak later today. I can get you on the program for this week. And this is Dawn.
Sure. Just go to NYC for the day. And then there's another one later that day saying, hey, bud, tried ya, which means like, tried calling you. And he says, call you in a few. And he says, cool, standing by.
He Dropbox him the
plan. And it has like 4 different steps. But basically like what workouts to do, what to eat
specifically for the lift.
Yeah, I think so.
It says the jumps are to be low intensity, and this is to improve performance. Go 50% intensity for the first few weeks.
It's basically just like, I think, building strength for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then Justin's like, awesome, amazing, can't wait to check it out, thank you. So then Justin privately asked Dawn what Blake weighed so that he could train his back muscles to avoid any injury. And according to the suit, he suffered from, like we said, lifelong back injuries. He's had multiple bulging discs and chronic pain. And then the next day, Justin was summoned to Blake's New York City penthouse and was unwelcomely greeted by Ryan. And he swore at Justin saying, quote, how dare you fucking ask about my wife's weight? What is wrong with you? And then this caused Justin to like profusely apologize. Whether or not that's warranted, I don't know.
Yeah, like I think he was
like,
probably
sorry,
scared,
man.
but also
Shit, man.
felt bad. Like,
yeah.
I didn't want to fat shame a woman.
Right.
But it was never coming from that perspective. It was privately asked to Dawn, from what I understand. And then Dawn, like, told Blake about it.
Yeah. And the way that it was originally pitched was that, from Blake, that he contacted her fitness trainer privately. But she didn't mention that Dawn's also working with Justin.
Right.
So
they're training both of them for this scene.
Right.
And he probably needs to know a major element to factor in her weight, what he's going to be lifting up, whether that's a human being or a metal bar. Like, you need to know what you're going to be striving to lift to make sure you don't injure yourself. It's completely professional. Right. And it was never said in a way that's like, yeah, she's a fat lard. I need to know how much so I can pick her fat ass up. Like, it's just the way it was portrayed was so ridiculous.
And then he puts out these text messages that just make her look even fucking worse.
Blake says, kicking ass, but it's still a ton of work with not a ton of time. What's the chance we can do body scenes at the end of the schedule?
And he says, I'm sure you are. Honestly, there's 1 billion moving parts to schedule right now. I just turned in the rewrite, and so they are hard at work. So much of it comes down to locations and the other cast availability, etc. So to be honest, I have no clue. And then he says, I want you to know you will look amazing. Anything you are insecure about, we will talk through and get creative together and make you comfortable. I just don't want you to stress about your body. It's the last thing you need. As soon as I have a rough schedule that's even remotely accurate, I'll share, and I'll make sure the team keeps this in mind as well with the heart. So basically being
very supportive.
Yeah. Like, we'll do everything you need to make sure that you feel comfortable.
And also lifting her up. Like, I'm sure you are. And, you know, I want you to know you will look amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then she responds.
She says, "Thank you for your voice memo," which we don't have the memo, correct?
No, we do not.
Don't know what was said there, but it is deeply appreciated. You are everything you promised to be as a collaborator. Thank you. So that right there says a whole lot. I know my job here, and this piece isn't a big part of my job here. We both understand the assignment as actors in the roles, but also as producers and also as marketers. We understand artistically, yes, but we get what we need to do in all aspects of the movie commercially. As woke as we both are and work to be. That was so hardcore millennial right there. As woke as we both are and we work to be.
I hated that. When I read that, my insides curled up.
It's like one of the worst things that was released. God.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Anyway, as woke as we both are and we work to be, this movie requires a certain aesthetic. It's part of the job that we both excitedly signed up for. I don't shy away from it because it's not problematic. It's the assignment. She likes that term as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like when someone is about to start an athletic event, it's their job to be in top shape. My husband and I both look at certain roles as athletic events, and this is one of them. It's not always part of the job, but on this one, it is, and that's great.
So she's literally saying,
yes.
I get it. This is part of my job. She's essentially saying, I'm going to work out to be in better shape for this scene.
Yes, because she had just had a baby, and she knew that it was going to be challenging to lose the body weight, but she brings up commercially, and as woke as we both are and want to be, we've got to fit the aesthetic.
Exactly.
Okay? So she clearly is stating that she understands that. As much as I'd love not to think about it, that would be irresponsible and also impossible because it's unrealistic to not acknowledge what I need to do. This is my job here, and I meet my responsibilities with extreme work ethic. I look for solutions to achieve my high goals instead of lowering my goals. We all win when we are each firing at our highest capabilities. And you and I both are and will continue to.
Her wording really
Her
wording really annoys me.
It's like so
Those are
overdone.
2 different sentences. Here's a sentence. And you and I both are. And then another sentence. And will continue to.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I just need as much time as possible because I just had my 4th baby. I understand that you'll never personally know all the nuances and challenges unless you've lived this physical moment in time. And I'm in with this physical road ahead. So having your understanding and support to help me pull this off is critical and very, very appreciated, not just in my experience now, but also healing from experiences past. So thank you. We are going to kill it and be so fit that they have to Lola us to look less banging, which Lola is like After Effects type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're going to like make us look uglier is what she's saying.
So you're basically going to be so hot and fit and so woke that they're going to have to fatten us up and put a little cellulite on us. Like, what does that even mean? It's so bizarre.
So strange.
Why like so much text for such a like?
Literally, that's what I'm saying. That could have been wrapped up in like, no worries. I understand the role and this is my job. I'm going to go ahead and try and get in the best shape I can. Thanks.
Well, that's something that you've been saying throughout all of this is it's strange how much was done over text messages, but even between editors and stuff. But especially with Blake, just these run-on novels where she's like trying to use this must take her a long time to dictate to the point, bitch. Shit. Like, you gotta
get to the point.
You're not a bit too busy to be writing up this stuff and like using the vocabulary you are a lot of times incorrectly.
Kendall's a grammar snob now.
Oh, I really am not one to talk though, because I'm an idiot. Not gonna
lie. No, your texts just make me laugh.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic. I try to edit them most of the time.
Yeah, you've been doing. Yeah,
I
I decipher them decently well. I'm like, I think this is but sometimes I'm like, I really don't know what you're saying.
It's because I like my brain when I reread things, I don't see mistakes.
That's
dyslexia.
Like talk to text. I usually am too lazy to change it, so I just send it. And then if you have a question, you can ask me.
I do that too. What I'm trying to work on is when I do a talk to text, trying to proofread it as much as I can before I hit send, but I talk to test send, and then I go back and edit it once it's already sent.
That's
but by
fine.
the time someone's already read it. Anyway, whatever. So Blake's takeover.
Oh boy, here we go.
Justin says that she started this takeover strategy before they even began filming. He said that she maintained a facade of close and caring relationship to manipulate him into demanding more control. Blake sent him this message the day before they started filming. It says, "This note means so much to me. I'm so excited to start tomorrow, but it's only one piece of the journey. We started months ago, and I'm grateful for all we have built so far. Thank you for caring so much and putting every bit of you into showing it. You have given so much of your time to fight for the great, and that hasn't gone unappreciative or unseen for a moment. Let's do this shit." Even as filming
it really does say,
continued.
"Let's do this shit."
Yeah.
Let's go.
And even as filming continued, Blake would express her appreciation and respect for Justin. Once she even acknowledged that she could be difficult, using language that she'd go on to say was inappropriate.
He says, "I'm not going to tell you that you were amazing because you teased me for being so sentimental, but you were amazing today." That's giving. I have a boner while I'm writing this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I had to say it like that, but
pure speculation there, but I have to agree with you, Janelle. I mean, we don't know. Maybe he's just really trying to be nice, and maybe it's something where he's like, "You're such a pain in the ass to work with that I just want to like pump you up as much as possible so that you show up and like do a good job." I don't know, but I am with you on that. That seems the fact that he says, "Because you tease me for being so sentimental, but you were amazing today." Eggplant emoji. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just being nice. I mean, you really, who knows?
Okay.
I see it though. I see what you see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If I got that from my coworker, I'd be like,
yeah.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. She says, "Thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm just a ball buster, but it means a lot to me. I care a great deal. I always want to deliver. You were terrific. I'm proud of everything we did today, but really, every day."
It's just like, stop sucking each other's wieners.
Yeah, I see where people are like, there was something going on between them.
And then he loved that text message and then just said thank you. Anyways, so Blake's pattern of domineering interference caused lots of unnecessary stress and delays. And once the writer's strike started, she asserted the ultimate power. Okay? Because
Khaleesi.
Yes. Production was temporarily halted on June 14th, 2023, following the strike. But the production was notified that the Writers Guild of America decided not to picket their set, so this would allow production to continue on. However, Blake decided that she didn't want to come back to set until the fall, and in the meantime, production reworked the shooting schedule to film the scenes with the younger versions of the characters instead of filming with Blake. And then Justin began editing some of the footage and started the director's process of turning the footage into film. So before and during the strikes, Blake asked for access, like we said, to the dailies. Okay? And this was some tea here because you don't need access to the dailies, girly pop. So go ahead and read it, Blake.
"Hey, would you mind giving me access to the dailies? And I'm curious which takes you liked of the scenes that you showed blank. My manager," I'm wondering what that was. "My manager, blank, flew out to," I guess the
blank.
They're just names. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's probably what they both are.
Well, you don't want randos named in your lawsuit.
True. Okay, so my manager, blank, flew out to visit the set and leaves tomorrow a.m. He heard all about it from Warren, and I'd love to show him. I appreciate you may be too slammed right now to make this happen, but maybe someone else can facilitate. Thank you so much." So then this email was also released, which looks like it was a month later. That first one I just read was June 13th, and this one is July 19th. So it says, "Hey, I hope you and your family are well. I watched the selects that you sent. So great. I was so happy and energized. Such solid work from everyone on and off camera. It was really cool to see. We are working so quickly. There was never the time to look back, so it was really nice to revisit from audience's perspective. Please let me know who to reach out to get access to the full gallery of dailies. I'm so looking forward to seeing all that we have in the can." Is a can like a film roll? I don't know.
Who cares?
Or all that we have in the bathroom. It is
The can sounds like in the trash.
No, the can is like the bathroom. No, but in the film world, it's obviously something else. Karelly, you just looked it up.
Filming has finished and is ready to be prepared to show the public.
Okay, and can. All right. And of course, any scenes that you cut together, I'd love to see. Hope you're having a good summer. Hopefully a good edit. Will your assembly be done soon? X.
People do that a lot, I've noticed.
Yeah, I can't read too much into
Gossip
that.
Girl.
Oh, that's right. That's for Gossip Girl, huh?
Okay, so then he sends this screenshot, the first one, to his production team, and he's like, thoughts? And then the producers chime in. One of them's like, I'd say no, but check her contract first, LOL. Then Jamie Heath says, I was waiting for Blank to respond first. It's an absolute no for me as well. Respectfully, not sure best way to respond, being how delicate it is. And then the other producer says, I think you can either not respond until tomorrow. So then the producer says, I think you can either not respond until tomorrow or say, you need to talk to the team, or just say, no, you're good. You're not comfortable with it. And then Jamie, he says, maybe we can let this be a Sony decision. And you could respond with that for now. And then Justin says, thank you. Spoke to Blank too. I think I'm just going to say yes and send her a playlist of a bunch of good takes from different scenes that last for 3 or 4 days. Redacted said no, LOL. And then the producer's like, wait, you're going to send, we all said no and you're still going to send them? And then he's like, no. She liked the idea of playlists, no access to all the dailies. And then they're like, okay, copy. And then he says, basically send her a playlist of what I showed her agent. And then if or when she responds and says, can you send me everything, that's when I'll say I'm not comfortable with that, as I haven't even seen everything myself. So-and-so believes that she will then start to edit the movie and tell me which takes to use if she has access to everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally. So then he responds to this same group message and says, just talk to Blake. She's in very good spirits and seems happy about this. Very nice conversation. Supposedly all is well, right? And then after discussing how to deal with the situation, Justin responded to Blake politely pushing back, saying, hi, sorry for the slow response. Lots happening, all good over here, blah, blah, whatever. He goes, regarding dailies, obviously you know I want your input. That's why I sent the 5-hour playlist. But at this point, it's too early for me to share all the dailies. I start my cut early in August, given the new editors, and still going through the rest myself. Also, figuring out our shooting plan as I have to cut and combine and find ways to scale down for budget. Once I am physically in the edit and have touched scenes myself, I'd love to share with you.
Fair response.
Yeah. And then she asked if he was the only one who had access to the dailies, and he responded by saying that Jamie and another producer had access to the dailies, but not access to edit the footage. Basically, that whole thing just shows that she's trying to take over.
Yeah, pretty clear.
You know, she wants more control than originally, she was granted. So production stopped for a little while because of the SAG-AFTRA strike, which ended on November 9th, 2023. And then that same day, Blake's team sent Wayfair a 17-point list of non-negotiable conditions that must be met before she returns to set.
Which we've kind of got over this already, but not in depth.
But Justin's team has proof that they could disprove her claims and demonstrate how they implemented these rules. And one of the biggest points on their list was that they demanded an intimacy coordinator to be present on set while Blake was there. Now, I was actually looking into this. This is a side note, but I found this very interesting. Intimacy coordinators were not a standard practice until pretty recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't until 2018 when the Me Too movement started that it became standard practice.
That makes sense.
And I was like, okay, so what were they doing before this? They basically had very minimal protocol during intimate scenes, and most of the time actors' comfort levels and director's vision were relied upon. And
just anything goes kind of thing?
Yeah, like what are you comfortable with?
That's crazy.
What's your vision? Like, are you comfortable doing this type of thing? And obviously, this would lead to actors feeling very pressured and uncomfortable because they want to, please the director's vision.
Yeah.
But also that means potentially pushing their own boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought that was so weird.
That's good to know, because I remember in one of the recent episodes, I was like, I had no idea that role even existed.
Yeah.
It's a new thing. That makes sense.
All right. So yeah, she demanded an intimacy coordinator, but there had already been one. And Wayfair's legal counsel made her team aware of this, which Blake's team acknowledged. And they actually sent confirmation of an intimacy coordinator.
More receipts.
This specific part of the lawsuit talks about the birthing scene in particular. This demand, as written, suggests nude or intimate scenes were filmed with non-personnel present. Later in her complaint, Lively alleges that during a scene, the birthing scene, She was, quote, mostly nude with her legs spread wide in stirrups and only a small piece of fabric covering her genitalia, and that there were, quote, non-essential persons present. This allegation is knowingly false. To begin with, to describe Lively as, quote, mostly nude and, quote, naked from below the chest down is dishonest. Lively was wearing black briefs and a pregnancy suit that covered her midsection, and her top was covered by a hospital gown. Her legal complaint deliberately suggests that she was wearing, quote, a small piece of nude fabric glued around her genitalia by stating this is, quote, generally what female actors use to, quote, provide some minimal privacy without disturbing the shot, leading the reader to believe that Lively was only wearing this small piece of fabric.
Yeah, and that's at the time when we went over that part in the lawsuit, we were like, damn, if that's true, that's fucked up.
Totally.
And it clearly wasn't true.
Yep. And get this, she was aware of the birthing scene as she was heavily involved in rewriting the script and gave creative input for this specific scene, even against the director's creative vision. So not only was she aware of this, she also helped write it. Okay.
Wow.
All right, so moving on to her list of demands here. No spontaneous improvisation of scenes involving physical touching, simulated sex, or nudity, which must be choreographed with the intimacy coordinators. Contrary to Blake's claims, she was the one who refused to meet with the intimacy coordinator to plan their scenes, which put Justin in an awkward position of meeting them alone and relaying that back to Blake. Because of this, many of the scenes were not written collaboratively with input from Blake and the intimacy coordinator as Justin intended, and Blake rejected all of the coordinator's proposals and rewrote the scenes herself. So Blake alleges that Justin added graphic sexual scenes, including a scene in which she orgasms. And Justin says that this is completely untrue. During a creative meeting at the NYC Penthouse, Justin read his notes from the meeting with the intimacy coordinator. And they suggested the orgasm scene, not him, the intimacy coordinator. And to which again, he's just reading the notes of basically relaying what the intimacy coordinator said. And Blake responds saying, oh no, I'm too old for that. And then Justin offered another suggestion instead, also from his notes from the meeting with the intimacy coordinator. Now, these notes were not included in the lawsuit. So how about the scene where Justin allegedly changed the sex scene so that Blake's character would climax at the end of the scene? Well, Justin claims that this was also false.
So that brings us to the slow dancing scene, which has probably been the biggest bombshell that has been dropped
yes, definitely.
Through everything that's come out recently. So unseen footage from the movie was released by Justin's legal team. They said they were coming to play, and they certainly were. So it's the slow dancing scene that we talked about that when we were going over Blake's claims. In her lawsuit, she said, on another occasion, Mr. Baldoni and Miss Lively were filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, and he did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Miss Lively out of character as himself. At one point, he leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear down her neck, and as he said, "It smells so good." None of this was remotely in character or based on any dialogue in the script, and nothing needed to be said because, again, there was no sound. Mr. Baldoni was caressing Miss Lively with his mouth in a way that had nothing to do with their rules. When Miss Lively later objected to this behavior, Mr. Baldoni's response was, "I'm not even attracted to you." And of course, all of that at the time, we were like,
holy shit,
that sounds pretty fucking bad.
Yep.
Well, in Justin's lawsuit, he explained the situation very differently. And not only did he explain the situation differently, he leaked footage of the scene. So we have as much proof as you can possibly get. This video was taken on May 23rd, 2023. The scene was designed to show the two characters falling in love and longing to be close to one another. Justin's lawyer leaked this video on January 21st, and this is directly from his lawsuit. It says production was filming a romance montage of Lily and Ryle on their date. One of the producers played music to set the mood so the characters could slow dance, because it'd be weird to just dance without any music.
Yeah.
Lively consistently unable to take direction. Little dig there.
Damn.
Deserved. Insisted that she really liked the idea of the characters constantly talking because, as she described, she and her husband like to keep talking and talking and talking. And Baldoni, her director and the film's assistant director, who was directing the scene, as they do, disagreed. In an attempt to encourage her to take his direction, Baldoni offered up that he and his wife often just look into each other's eyes silently, to which she responded, like sociopaths. Okay. And then laughed. Baldoni laughed and shook it off while Lively once again started talking about how she and her husband can't not talk. And Baldoni said, I think that's cute, and complimented the couple, on which Lively responded, I think it's more than cute.
She's so annoying.
She really is so annoying. So we're going to play the scene for you. There are subtitles on screen if you are watching this episode, but for those of you who are listening, it'd probably be pretty hard to hear. So Janelle and I are going to play Blake and Justin and read along with what they're saying. I think we have to back up. We're not on our marks, and I think the light behind is you a little bit.
It's actually a little better when it's behind me.
Oh, okay. I think we should be talking. I think it's more romantic if we're like talking and dancing and talking. I don't know. It's more romantic.
Yeah, well, the whole montage is us talking.
Because it's like in the moment you kiss and then you give them the thing that you want to see, that they want to see. Do you know what I mean? So they should feel like...
That's why almost kissing is also good.
Yeah, but we're still talking.
Let's see this. And then he goes in for the neck kiss.
There it is.
And then to the director, he says, can we see the score?
Can we do a score?
Can we do a score? Can we do a score? A couple scores. While we're... Yeah, great.
She goes talking and...
No, I know. I just get lost.
I think it's nice to talk. No, I think it's more romantic. Yeah, and you're like, what are they saying?
They'll never know in slow motion.
But I must know. I must know what they're saying.
They're never going to find out. I know you and Ryan talk all the time.
Oh my God, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I we have these moments where...
Like staring? You're just staring?
We've done it for 5 minutes. It's like, I think you would find it terrifying. It is literally, we just literally look at each other, literally.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh no, I found a sociopath.
And then time stops. But like, that's just how it's been for us since the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my God, there's not enough time in the day to talk. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you something else.
Oh, I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
And then let's just do almost like super close.
But I think I should start talking. Do you know what I mean?
Don't give it to them. Oh, sorry, that's your line. Sorry.
Oh, don't give it to them. They want it. Don't give it to them. Restraint.
Let's just keep restraint.
We'll just do a little bit of restraint.
Heads together.
I feel so nosy. I mean, it's just like noses.
I know. And my nose is so big.
Yes! I was hoping we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. Gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that. And then, just kidding.
Cut.
Just kidding.
No, it's true. That's why we hired Jenny Slate, too. Our noses match.
Oh, so if we're like, oh, we missed some stuff, they know each other better than that. So she's not marrying someone she doesn't know with lots of red flags.
Let's start on action. Let's just do everyone celebrating. There's a game going on. Hold on. I'm gonna get you a hat in there, because then I'll take it off. Like, I'll try to kiss you, and then I'll put it there.
Great.
Because I know you wanted the hat.
Yeah, you know I like my hats.
Am I getting beard on you today?
I'm probably getting spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup. So, boom! Evidence! He said it smells good.
It
not
smells
you
good.
Smell good.
And if you're watching the footage, actually it's so weird to watch, and maybe this is just me because I have zero acting experience, obviously.
Oh, it's so
But
great.
they look so
in love.
Yes.
Well, that's why they're paid the big bucks, right?
Right.
Janelle and I also, we ran out of time today, but we wanted to like try and see if we could create our own intimacy scene.
Yeah.
You two could be our intimacy coordinators.
That was just weird.
But I think that's also why people are adding to the conversation of like, clearly there was something between them because the chemistry is so intense. And like, I see what they're saying.
That is their job.
And they're trained actors.
Right. And I'm curious with other people who are trained actors, I kind of doubt they'd have the same takeaway on that.
Like, they're clearly in love.
I think it's just the average folk like us that aren't used to that, that think, wow, there was something between them. But, this was a huge part. She was claiming that he was being creepy, was touching her neck, was telling her that she smells good, all this shit. Meanwhile, he puts this shit out. And first off, which this is fucked up, but a huge part of her lawsuit was how she's being made fun of by him about her physical appearance. She literally makes a joke about how big his nose is and that she is alluding that he needs plastic surgery.
Yeah, it's not too late.
Right. And then, no, he wasn't being creepy and saying, oh, you smell good. He's saying like, oh, haha, the self-tanner smells good.
It's like runs her nose up her neck and says, it smells so good.
Yeah. So,
and she brought it up. I'm probably getting my spray tan on you. He said, it smells good.
Right. Exactly. So that right there, I think, was so telling of, bitch, you're full of shit.
She's an idiot. And it's crazy that, when we first were going over these claims, we're like, why would she say all this?
Yep.
She's going to ruin her career if it's all bullshit.
Right.
She must be, she's not an idiot, right? She can't be an idiot. She's a fucking idiot.
Yep.
Is what we're seeing loud and clear here. Like, and this was all filmed. That's what makes it so much worse. Is like, you didn't think they would pull all of this out? Dumb.
Well, I think she thought there was no audio because it was a silent scene.
Well, there are lip readers these days too.
Yeah, that's true. So, his lawsuit also claims that it was her who engaged in unchoreographed kissing scenes. Part of it says, it is clear Lively was initiating unchoreographed kissing. In one take, she pulled Baldoni in and kissed him once, in another twice, and the number of kisses entirely initiated by Lively changed at her whim. Bam!
Shit ain't looking good for her, man. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Pisses me off, honestly.
Yep.
And it's people like you that make people not want to believe women.
Mm-hmm.
And that fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a special place in hell for people like this. I truly believe. It's just infuriating.
So the next part here is a rebuttal to point 4 that reads, no physical touching of Lively, including hugging, or comments on her physical appearance except in connection with the character and or scene of work. So she alleges that Justin called her sexy, and either this was a huge misunderstanding or Blake has twisted everything, which I'm starting to think that's probably the case of it. In the scene where everyone was wearing onesies, this is also so crazy. Blake was wearing hers with a big coat, okay? And Justin, as the director, asked her to take off the coat. He says, in the lawsuit, Baldoni said, it will be hot, as it was 90 degrees in the small bar with no air conditioning. Lively mischaracterizes this in her complaint as Baldoni referring to her personally as hot, using the slang meaning of the term.
How embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
Girl, the fuck are you doing? Like, why would you ever say all this?
I know, it's bad.
He was calling me hot. He literally was talking about the temperature of the room.
Right. Given that Lively herself had earlier expressed to him that she wanted her character's wardrobe to be sexier, Baldoni encouraged her to accept direction by saying, quote, it's sexy, meaning that without the big coat, the wardrobe was sexier, as Lively said she wanted. Baldoni, recognizing that she may have taken his direction personally and appeared offended, apologized more than once.
You idiot. What the fuck are you doing?
I feel like he has so much
so
patience.
Insane.
For real.
Seriously.
Like,
God, he
I'd be
seems
so
like
annoyed.
a great guy, the way that he handled all of this. I think I'm like a Justin Baldoni fan now. Honestly.
Damn.
I mean, I guess you can't really be a fan of anyone these days. I was also a fan of Ryan Reynolds, and I don't know what to think of him. But like, it just seems like he handled this all so professionally, and then he got so fucked over, was like shoved in the basement of his premiere. It's just insane. Insane.
It gets worse. It gets so much worse.
It's just so bad.
Okay,
so bad.
Let's keep it rolling here, people. Okay. She also, of course, demands no discussion of personal experiences with sex or nudity, including as it relates to contact with spouses or others. Because remember, she talks about how Jamie showed a video.
Yes, Jamie Heath showed her a video of his wife giving birth to give her inspiration for her birth scene.
And she was like, what the fuck?
We sort of took, from the beginning, we've been saying like, okay, this is not pornography. It is offensive to call this pornography. And that's the point that they're bringing up as well.
It was completely misconstrued by her. That didn't happen at all. It's insane.
Yeah.
This honestly, like, kind of solidified it all for me.
Yeah. Yep.
So, okay, and part of this is also like no personal experience with each other. But Baldoni claims like, well, this is odd because we have a friendly relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even pictures of Justin holding Blake's newborn in her home.
Mm-hmm.
Justin took a video of Blake uncontrollably laughing with him as they rehearsed their lines late into the evening.
Which is also fed into the like...
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Like,
I don't know either.
People do, especially in the film world.
Totally.
Like, you got to work weird hours. And I think there should be laughter and friendship between people.
Yeah, I don't think
But of course, people have been like, oh, they were in love.
Of course.
And maybe they were.
Maybe they were.
I don't know.
More, I would say.
Make this more interesting if that was the case.
Yeah. Ooh, could you imagine?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Okay. So this next part is about the scene where Justin suggests that Ryle not orgasm after he satisfies Lily in Justin's experience with porn addiction. Okay, so it says, for example, in response to a proposal from the intimacy coordinator that Baldoni's character Ryle not orgasm after he satisfied Lily, Lively remarked, quote, "I'd be mortified if that happened to me," personalizing the character's sexual act. Which, when you're looking at it in the context of she's claiming that he's being personally creepy to her, it kind of is like, well, you're also making jokes about your own personal sex life. You know?
Yeah. Baldoni, following Lively's lead in what he understood to be an attempt to connect with and develop their characters, remarked that those have been some of the most beautiful moments between himself and his wife when they climax, which is like kind of strange to share, but like, I don't know their relationship. I don't understand Hollywood. Yeah. They then moved on. And in another instance, as Lively and Baldoni were developing their scenes, Lively said, "I don't want it to look like porn," and then offered up that she had never seen porn in her life, a very personal fact, which is kind of hard to believe, but maybe. I don't know. Kind of besides the point. She's never seen porn in her life. Maybe she hasn't.
Great.
She's just...
Sure.
Saint. Okay. And he complimented her on that and said, "That's wonderful," because unfortunately, he was exposed to it when he was 10 years old. And he has struggled with a porn addiction for a period of his life. And he writes about that openly in his book, Boys Will Be Human, written for young boys, and Man Enough, written for men, addressing pornography as a societal problem. Yep. And anyone who knows or has done research on Baldoni will have knowledge of this, and it can be no way characterized as inappropriate, especially after opening the door. Yes, she opened the door to the discussion. She said, "I've never seen porn." And he's like, "Well, good for you. I've like struggled with this porn addiction."
Yeah.
And like, I think it's commendable for him to be very open about that. It's something that a huge percentage of the male population struggles with.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually a real addiction. So trying to shame that as it was some like creepy thing he said to her. It's just, ugh.
Like I said, Blake claimed that Jamie and Justin showed her the video of Jamie's wife.
That it was pornographic.
Right.
Of a birth. But it's really weird for someone who has given birth and is a mother to call another person's birth pornographic.
Yeah.
And not having ever watched
it.
Not having ever watched porn.
Yeah. Right.
That's true.
That's very strange. And I'll stand by what I said before, that I think it is kind of mansplaining to just pull up a video to someone who has already given birth. But like, I don't know, maybe she had agreed to see it.
No, she did.
Oh, yeah, right. She did.
Yeah, no.
And she tried to present it as they just like pulled it out. We're like, "Hey, check this shit out."
Literally, it says, "This video, which ultimately was not shown to Lively, even though she stated she'd like to see it later as she was eating, is by all accounts beautiful. Since Lively wanted to see it later, what she saw was the first image at the start of the video, which shows Heath's wife, himself, and their baby after his wife gave birth at home. Nonetheless, Lively did not object and asked to see the video after she ate, having managed to convince the director to write and shoot the scene according to her specifications."
So with
she
her
never saw
agreeing
it,
to watch that,
but she wanted to see it.
Yes, I take back what I had said earlier. Now that I know this about it being mansplaining and over the top, because she agreed to see it. They offered, "Do you want to watch this?" And she said yes.
Yeah,
it's not like it was ever forced upon her.
Yep.
She's just a fucking liar. A total manipulator. Like, how insane is this?
Moving on to the whole rebuttal for point 6 that she made of like, no one should be entering the trailer while she was undressed. She talks about when like Justin and Jamie entered the trailer and she was undressed and she was breastfeeding. And then there was like this one point where she talks about how Jamie barged in. She was topless. She asked Jamie to turn around. He didn't turn around. He was like staring at her. Anyways. But Justin's lawsuit claims that Blake was not topless as she was breastfeeding and was not alone with Jamie. Okay. Apparently her makeup artist, nanny, and assistant were present. Justin's lawsuit says that the suggestion that this happened is categorically false and offends the integrity of Justin and Jamie and the sanctity of their vows to their wives and families.
It really does. I feel terrible for them.
Yeah. The suit says that Both men are very supportive and respectful of motherhood. Jamie's wife, Natasha, even co-founded a company that empowers mothers postpartum and even designed a breastfeeding garment, which was gifted to Blake. And her company is called It Starts With Mama.
Girl,
if you're interested.
Take that shit back from her. She doesn't deserve any gifts.
Totally. Moving on here, point 7 talks about no filming nude or sex scenes except for per nudity writer, and no use of prior nude scenes without nudity writer. As part of her 17 demands, she made it seem like it was Wayfarer's fault a nudity writer was absent. And a nudity writer, if you don't know, is a written agreement defining the extent and nature of nudity involved in the role.
It sounds like writer, but rider.
R-I-D-E-R, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
However, Wayfarer always provided one approved by the SAG intimacy coordinator and was given lots of chances to provide notes and changes before production started. But Blake never signed the nudity writer during the first half of production and never even signed her employee agreement, which blows my mind. But
how did they even move forward
without
that?
That's what I'm wondering. Wayfarer's lawyers begged her to submit these signatures, but her main concern was making sure her fee was deposited into escrow. So Wayfarer agreed to pay her the fee, even though she hadn't signed any of these agreements. And there's some emails about them asking her to sign it. But yeah, I mean, the point is she is demanding all these things without even holding up her end of the bargain, which is, her end of the bargain is standard procedure. Yeah.
Okay, point 9, notice of COVID-19 exposure. Blake's complaint said that COVID protocols were not implemented and that Wayfarer didn't have insurance coverage for COVID. Justin's lawsuit says that on April 26, 2023, Wayfarer sent the crew a COVID-19 protocol update informing them that the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers Return to Work agreement expired on May 12, 2023, and that they be not required to test or wear masks after that date. So boom. Okay, and then this brings us to point 14. Wayfarer to use Lively approved body and stunt double for intimate and sexual violence scene. This is something that Wayfarer says should have been discussed in the contract negotiation phase. Blake's body doubles were approved by Wayfarer despite the fact that it was an additional and unplanned expense. But then no body doubles were used in the movie because Blake didn't want to do the lifting scenes.
Bam.
It just didn't even happen.
And then there was that whole claim about how Justin's friend was hired as the doctor.
Yeah, we're like, was it a random dude?
Right.
No.
It was not a random dude.
Mm-hmm.
He was a award-winning Shakespearean-trained actor with a master's in acting from UCLA, and in addition to appearing on numerous hit TV shows, has toured nationally with a Tony Award-winning acting company and attended Oxford's acting program on full scholarship. So her complaint states that she was alarmed when Baldoni introduced him as a friend and allowed him to play the intimate role, in which she claims about how like his face was really close to her private area, and that made her feel really uncomfortable.
She made it sound like it was just like his random buddy that he brought in.
Right. No, he's literally a trained actor.
This is so embarrassing for her, dude. She needs to just settle and apologize and move on.
Yeah. But what's crazy is that she had her sister get hired.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so talk about hiring a friend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're literally hiring your sister.
Point 17, all hands meeting before production resumes. Wayfarer thought it was a good idea to discuss all the needs and preferences of Blake and the other cast members to ensure comfort and security while filming a movie that dealt with difficult themes. Blake, with Ryan's support, used this to demand, quote, to justify an ambush of Baldoni and Heath on the eve of the first day of filming in phase 2 of production. This demand also confused Sony too, and we'll put a email of that on screen.
Yeah.
But basically, Blake was taking control of the production in every way it seemed. She had more script notes and changes and masked these false allegations as demands, basically. She threatened not to return to production, and Justin realized the only way to get past this was to just give her what she wanted. And I'm sure at that point, he felt like he had no other options because of her threats and coercion, really. And this email Justin sent to the production team explains how he felt. We'll just read a section of it. I've spent the better part of the last few days trying to figure this out. Everyone knows how I feel about all this and how angry I am that Blake has taken over our film and somehow rewrote a movie that we spent years developing, writing, and funding. So yes, I'm furious and sad, but I will continue to get back up with a goal of getting us to the finish line. I have come to terms with the fact that the only way out is through. I am waving the white flag and submitting.
Yikes.
I am going to give her 98% of what she wants. I'm sure none of us have the energy to fight anymore. The team who has been working their ass off needs a shooting script on January 2nd. And then only 4 days before the second phase of filming started, Justin worked hard with very limited time to rework the script to meet Blake's demands, which caused so much stress for the production team. Here's another email from Baldoni to a member of the production team, also Jamie Heath. I'm not quite sure how to handle, but I'm doing these small rewrites and I'm going to be sending back to the producers and all of you, and then they are going to send it to Blake, and then we will be in negotiation for what the final script looked like. And then a day before they started phase 2, Blake casually reached out to Justin, Jamie, and the producers to meet at her house for this return to production demands meeting on January 4th, 2024. So Justin, Jamie, and a Sony rep, the movie's first assistant director, and 2 producers eagerly arrived to discuss the details to resume filming. Blake chose Ryan to be her representative and not anyone from the SAG's union, which they thought was a little strange. And the meeting didn't go how anyone expected. The group felt blindsided with a list of grievances read aloud by Blake, quote, that were as troubling as they were fictional. Ryan berated Justin, which he later described as a traumatic encounter. I believe it. And Ryan demanded that Justin apologize to Blake for the things that never happened or have been mischaracterized. He resisted apologizing for the things he didn't do, which just made Ryan more mad. And everyone, including the producer that Sony hired at Blake's request, left this meeting shocked. The producer said that he had never seen anything like that in his 40-year career.
Yikes.
And the Sony rep said that she regrets not intervening to stop Ryan's tirade against Justin. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
God, and it's interesting because Ryan Reynolds just totally depicts himself as this fun-loving, loosey-goosey, chill-ass dude. And it's like, wow, he is a whole other side to him.
Yeah,
so of course, he is an actor. We're seeing him act.
That's true.
Damn, it's disappointing, though.
Yep. I know. Damn.
I love Deadpool.
Me too.
Sydney, we're heartbroken.
I know, like, what the fuck?
I still probably will watch Deadpool, not gonna lie.
Same.
It also felt like it was Ryan and Blake versus everyone else, and the power dynamic was starting to show, which is something that, you know, we've had a lot of discussion about, and the internet has had a lot of discussion about.
Yep.
Anytime Blake didn't get her way, she would threaten to leave, and maybe she should have.
Yeah.
Probably would have saved everyone a lot of time and grief.
Right.
And money.
Yeah.
And money.
And moolah.
Now, this part is very interesting and really telling how fucked up these two are, okay? So the list of grievances Blake read at this meeting on January 4th were new and apart from the 17-point return to production demands and were never presented to anyone at the meeting, okay? So Blake's CRD complaint, which is the same as her lawsuit, misleadingly says that the parties agreed to a list of 30 different demands. The only document they received was the 17-point return to production demands that was presented on January 9th, but this document was not signed until 2 weeks after the all hands on deck meeting that took place on January 4th. It was signed January 19th, okay? So many of the new items were allegedly based on lies and never provided to any of the parties. How could you agree to something that doesn't exist? Very, very sketchy. And just paints this picture that's really not there. Now, Blake's lawsuit confirms that the second phase of filming resumed and then ended without any more grievances or references to previous disputes. Okay, so let's get into the marketing plan and premiere. Justin shares some new information regarding the marketing plan that Blake claimed Sony created and referred to in her complaint as a contract that the cast had agreed to. So Justin alleges, I'll just read the quote. Meanwhile, Lively systematically excluded Baldoni from all marketing and promotional efforts with her, and the cast of the film. He was not invited to any cast promotional events, cast screenings, premieres, photo shoots, or other cast campaigns. Baldoni was marginalized from the marketing process. The purported marketing plan allegedly created by Sony, which was later referenced in Lively's CRD complaint as agreed to by all, and attached as an exhibit as fact, even though it was merely talking points and not a binding contract, was never the plan Baldoni agreed to. Which I think that is very telling, because obviously she was getting a ton of public flack for like marketing all of her crap and, saying like, oh, it's a girls' movie. Like, get your buddies and whatever she said. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, that was the marketing plan.
I was forced to.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, not according to Justin. He says that there was no binding contract, and
he was very clear that was not going to be how he was doing it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, he said that he was making this film to bring awareness to domestic violence and would not refrain from doing so when promoting the film.
Yep.
And he said he did not go rogue as Blake claimed he did.
Mm-hmm.
How offensive, really.
Yep. And then Justin claims that while he was in Sweden celebrating his wife's birthday, he was told that Blake insisted he not attend the film's premiere on August 6, 2024. He also claims Blake threatened that if he did show up, she and most of the cast would refuse to attend. That is pretty brutal.
And sorry. I'm just getting so choked up on my words here. This pisses me off. Because, like, when we started hearing about all this stuff, I figured if it's that bad, like, he must have been, like, really fucking bad. Right. For them to not even be around him, and for the cast to not want to be around him either, and everyone was unfollowing him, and it's like, wow, God.
Now,
I tried to twist this big time.
And I think a lot of the reason that people were starting to publicly come out in support of her was because they weren't there for every incident that they're referring to.
Believing some of the bullshit.
So they're probably
she's
like,
feeding.
oh my God, I didn't know that happened. I didn't know that happened. I didn't know that happened. You know?
Yeah. I see what you mean.
They weren't there the whole time. They weren't in every room. They weren't in every conversation. They weren't in every text message. So to them, they were like, holy shit, this looks really bad.
Yeah.
He said he wasn't completely sure what Blake told the cast or promised them, but the fact that Sony advised Wayfarer to agree to this only highlights Blake and Ryan's immense power and influence, which is so true.
Yep. Steamrolled the whole thing.
Yep. And Justin and Wayfarer refused to give in to these demands to exclude them from the premiere of their film, which they had financed, produced, and owned. Okay?
That's so shitty. I truly feel so bad for both of them.
Yeah, it sucks. Justin said this demand was the peak of a year-long campaign of threats and harassment, and Wayfarer was definitely taken back by this demand, but said they had grown used to the bullying, knowing how powerful the two were.
Wow.
Justin said he and his team worked hard to find a solution with Blake so they could attend the premiere, and Justin claims that just days before the premiere, he was still unsure if he was, quote, allowed to attend. He said his friends and family, most traveling from outside of New York, were left in limbo and unable to finalize travel plans or book flights. Now, remember, Justin still hadn't seen the final cut of the movie prior to the premiere, which is so crazy to me.
God.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
And he was able to, eventually convince Blake to let him attend.
Why would you even need to convince her? Shut the fuck up, he's going.
Because she was like,
directed this movie.
He was basically like, if you show up, I'm going to make a scene out of it.
Like, we're all going to leave.
And then you're going to look like a real piece of shit. And
oh my God.
This is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
But Justin said that they were forced to watch the film in a separate theater, arrive at different times than the rest of the cast, and leave the carpet as soon as Blake showed up.
Which all adds up when you look at the footage from that night.
Yeah.
Yep. And he was also banned from the official celebrity after party, even though it was paid for by Sony and Wayfarer.
His company.
And he had to have his own little after party.
Justin, I feel so bad for you. This is so fucked up. I'm so glad that the truth is coming out. It's like, it's all so clear now. And it's like our original assessment of her, just from what we were seeing in the smear campaign. I think we were all, it was pretty spot on.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
The internet saw through the bullshit in the beginning.
I'm still glad that we didn't come out with some strong opinion one way or the other, because
I am too.
At the end of the day, there
regrets.
Was really no proof at first.
No, I was just waiting I needed the proof.
Exactly.
And he came with the proof. At first she was the only one to drop lawsuits, so we only could go off of that, and a lot of it was like, as we were reading the claims, I was like, yes, if this is true, that's pretty fucked up. Right. But now it's like none of it was true. None of it was true.
She basically was getting made fun of, and her, whole job or persona is getting ruined. So she's like, what am I going to do? I need to go make a complaint with lies.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's going to go really well for you, girl.
Yeah.
Considering this is a film with actual video evidence and a well-documented trail of emails and text messages that you seem to like to be a novelist in your text. So you, oh my God.
Yeah, for real though.
This is so bad. This is so bad.
It's so bad.
This is like the end of her career and possibly Ryan's too.
I don't know.
I think it's the end of Blake.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
It wasn't.
Who's gonna fucking want to work with her after this? She's gonna get hired for fucking anything unless she funds her own shit in the future.
Okay, this is crazy. He gets on the red carpet. He does you can see the picture. He's on the red carpet with his pink suit.
The pink carpet,
sorry. But then he gets quickly interrupted and ushered off the carpet because Blake was on her way in, baby.
The dragon is coming. Khaleesi and the dragons.
Dun, 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 dun.
God, that's so nuts.
So he gets escorted out of there and then put in a basement of the building.
So fucked up after years of a project you worked on before she even got involved.
Yep.
Dude. Justin.
And then that's when he was escorted to a separate theater to watch the film for the first time.
Okay, really quick, this holding room had popcorn and sodas.
No, I know. The holding room is so sad.
That's what they got? Popcorn and sodas? Let me see this.
Like our holding room.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh my God, they're like in a basement.
Nicer than this, yeah.
And they fucking gave them Dasani. What an insult to injury.
But they're like down in the stock room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they know it's a joke too. Look at them like posing with the Dasani.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then, he went to a separate after party, which this is interesting. He said it was a dry event because he wanted to recognize the link between alcohol and domestic violence.
Yeah, so why are you promoting your stupid boozy Blake drink, brown booze or whatever?
Betsy
Boodles.
Betty Booze?
Isn't it not even an alcoholic drink, though? I saw people are saying it's more of it's like a mixer for beverages. Either way.
It's called Betty Booze.
I know. If it's called Betty Booze, you think it'd be booze.
So Justin claims he was sidelined while Sony and Blake continued to push their promotional plan for the movie. And Justin said he originally proposed a different marketing strategy to Sony that he shared with Blake and Sony multiple times.
It's definitely alcohol.
Sparkling tequila.
Okay, so what are these people talking about saying that to us?
Talking about...
Stop.
Made with tequila.
People confuse me all the time in the comments. Why would you promote your alcohol on this movie?
And remember her names for the drinks were like about, like kind of a reference to, she tried to have changed them, but they're like in reference to the movie.
Oh my God.
Remember that? It was
I don't remember that.
Oh, she must have changed
I must have forgot.
I know the nail polish was.
Oh yeah, the nail polish. Oh, that was Colleen Hoover's thing. Yeah.
Oh, she deleted her account and everything.
Did she?
Yeah.
Probably smart.
Which people think that she deleted her account because at first she came out in support of Blake. And then she deleted it.
Yeah. So she changed her mind or she just doesn't want the heat. Because she's been getting heat for years.
Yeah, but she did make a post though when this all first kind of broke about how she did stand behind Blake.
Yeah.
But then
she deleted it.
Yeah, she deleted her.
She says, never mind. I would like to take my money and go.
I think a lot of people have like redacted their support for her.
Well, after this,
redaction.
God, this is so bad. I seriously do think this is the end of Blake Lively. Unless she's got some like monster evidence in her pocket that she's saving for something, like girl.
Which if she does, like, let's go, baby.
Bring out more.
Let's go.
We'll check it out. We'll read into it. But like, you would have come out the gates with that if you had it.
Totally.
It ends with Blake.
It does.
Okay, so the most recent of the updates, they're asking for Baldoni to shut the fuck up.
Which is just, what the fuck are you people doing? You guys started this shit. And then as soon as he gets to defend himself, they're like, no more. You're done. Gag order.
Yep. They're like, please stop.
Yeah. So it was in a letter written to the judge on January 21st, 2025 by Blake's legal team. Said every day since Blake filed her complaint, Brian Friedman, Justin's lawyer, has been nonstop with TV interviews and appearing on podcasts, putting out controversial written statements and linking information to the Hollywood press to gain public favor for Justin. They also said that Brian is trying to sway the potential jury pool by controlling the media narrative. Blake and Ryan's attorneys have also shared that Blake issued a cease and desist to Wayfarer Studios to stop their alleged online harassment campaign before filing her complaint on December 21st. The letter also showed that Blake submitted another cease and desist letter directly to Brian on December 23rd for his continued statements to the press. The letter argues that Brian's actions are basically a continuation of the retaliation campaign Justin and Wayfarer Studios allegedly started when Blake first called out Justin's behavior. It highlighted how Justin's legal team released behind-the-scenes footage of the dancing scene and their most recent statement of their plans to launch a website detailing all correspondence and videos to crush Blake's claims. Release that shit. Drop the website. I wonder if it'll be up by the time this episode goes up. Could be.
I kind of doubt it. I think
maybe by next
it's
week.
Gonna take him a sec.
Yeah, well, now the gag order, I don't know if that'll go through or whatever.
But I would love for that to come out.
Me too. It sounds like there's more.
Yep.
Blake's legal team said Justin Baldoni and his lawyer may hope that this latest stunt will get ahead of the damaging evidence against him, but the video itself is damaging. What are you guys talking about? We all have eyes and ears. We saw it. It is not damaging. She, if anything was damaging, she's like shaming him for his nose, telling him to get plastic surgery.
I know.
Like, they're in insane levels of denial. This is an age-old story. A woman speaks up with concrete evidence of sexual harassment and retaliation against, and the abuser attempts to turn the tables on the victim. This is what experts called DARVO, deny, attack, reverse, victim, offender. This is like offensive to be using terms like this in this situation. Okay. This is not what is happening at all. It's not an age-old story. And yes, that concept is an age-old story. What is happening here is not part of that story whatsoever.
Yeah. It's just so disappointing because assuming that she's full of crap, like you said, Kendall, women have a hard enough time being believed.
Yes.
And, you know, this is going to make women who are actually victims of abuse and violence not come forward.
Mm-hmm. And if they do, the public opinion will be even harder to gain in the initial phases unless you have like concrete evidence. And it's such a nuanced and difficult conversation as a whole that, yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. And like I said, what did we say? You're like 90%?
I'm going 90.
90 on Blake. I'm like, yeah, I'd say it's somewhere around there. Like, I'd say more 95.
Okay,
but like,
fair.
I'm holding out like a small percentage that like maybe you have something that's going to change my mind. Because it seems like you're so fucking confident, but I feel like you would have put that out already by now. And then everything that you've just been proven to be a liar again and again and again and again.
Yep.
So embarrassing.
Yep.
And like, not only did she make herself look horrible to the public and look like a liar and just kind of a bad person, but you also you exposed yourself as a total pain in the ass, controlling person to work with. And Ryan looks bad as well. And both of you just look dumb.
Yep.
And ridiculous.
Yep.
If they're smart, they will settle and wrap this shit up and apologize and move the fuck on. But they're not smart, so we're probably going to see more.
Breaking news!
All right, guys, jumping in here on Wednesday the 29th, actually a couple hours before this episode goes live, because...
Breaking news.
Breaking mother-freaking news, okay?
No, don't say freaking.
Mother-freaking.
Just commit.
Mother-fucking news.
Thank you.
Breaking
this is the Sesh, okay?
I was scrolling on the pot on Monday night, and I came across this breaking news that had broke only a couple hours before. Of course, right after we finished recording on Monday is when it pops off.
That's how it always goes.
But it was this voice memo from good old Justy Boy sent to Blake.
Yep.
2 a.m.
6-minute voicemail or voice memo.
Yep. And
it's long for a voice memo.
Totally.
I'd be overwhelmed if I got that.
Well, it seems as though they don't know how to condense their wording at all.
No.
They are sending like paragraphs to each other. Mm-hmm. He's sending her an entire audiobook.
It's all very like poetic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just like how actors, are they just maybe like artsy fartsy?
They're thespians.
What does that mean?
Like actors.
Okay.
Thespians. Let me look it up.
It's giving lesbians.
Lesbians. Refers to actors and actresses. Can also refer to members of a honor society for high school theater.
Okay, well.
Term comes from Thespis, an ancient Greek actor and playwright. So yeah, they are definitely giving thespian at all times.
So anyways, this voice memo was first obtained by the Daily Mail, of course, accompanied by a story stating it was tied to the back and forth over the rewrite, which we had talked about a lot earlier in this episode. And it's speculated that Brian Friedman released the voice memo. especially since he's been very vocal about leaking footage and emails and all the receipts.
It seems like it would come from their team, but we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. And he's staying quiet about this. So
it's got to be from one of them, right? And Blake's team said it wasn't them.
Yep. So I don't know. But yeah, it was long. And
you can listen to the full version on TMZ or Daily Mail or something. We cut it down because
it's too long.
6 minutes. Come on.
But like, and I know before we were kind of like, oh, we're Team Justin. And for the most part, I think I still am.
Oh, I definitely still am.
But this was fucking weird. And he said some weird shit on there. And if I was Blake and I was listening to that at 2 a.m. and Ryan Reynolds is next to me, my husband.
But is this
if I was Ryan Reynolds, I'd be crashing the fuck out if I heard this come through.
Yeah.
My wife's phone.
His voice is just, I'll say, is very sexy.
Oh, yeah.
He's just sexy in general, in my opinion. I really like him as far as his looks and his voice. And I think I like him as a person, too. I don't know, from what I've seen. But I don't know. I think we don't know what kind of voice memos she was sending him. Is this on par? Is this what they've been doing? We're only getting one of them.
Right.
Does this fit the mood, the vibe of their conversations all the time?
But it was very like flirtatious.
It did sound flirtatious,
but I'm kind of getting the idea that that's just who he is.
I think, that's like, kind of how he sounds all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
About everything.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his proposal video. Everything he does is,
which by the way,
theatrical.
That was cringe. But yeah, I think that's kind of just who he is.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Anyways, let's just watch some of it here.
Yeah, let's
listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Blake.
Hey, Blake. Yeah, it sounds like an ad for like a call-in, like phone.
Yeah.
Sexy phone chat.
Yeah.
I could listen to it all day.
I liked it. All the comments were like, when's his audiobook dropping?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Blake, it is 2 a.m. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person. I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust, vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel. I fucked up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And I'm going to fuck up. I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize. I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend. And damn right, you got great friends. If that's how you felt, they knew that. And fuck, we should all have friends like that. Aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet. The three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy. It's to force all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that because it's really good and it's going to make the movie sing like you said. And I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I'm just excited to spend time with you. I'm excited to be in your sphere and your presence and for us to share creative juices.
Okay,
together.
the creative juices
sounds
thing.
terrible.
Creative juices.
That's horrible.
Like, okay, keep going and then I'll say
And
something.
you and I have been trying to build a relationship, which I think we've done successfully. I mean, here we are talking like this, me into my phone at 2 a.m, but largely via text and voice note. And I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being face to face, and I feel like that's where I excel. And definitely fallen short at times in our text and voice note exchanges because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening. And all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together. And I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there and has been there from the start. So I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met. And yeah, I think it does come from the both of us being so fucking hardworking and having a vision and not...
This is hot.
I'm excited to have a creative partner in that with you. There's so much more to say. There's so much I want to say. Oh, and there's one thing that I do need to say, which is I am so sorry you have been through what you've been through with these other filmmakers and producers or whoever the people were that you worked with. It just pissed me off. Those fuckheads. I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in and that you've experienced that as a woman. And I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be or will be. Hopefully it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me like that I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. I mean, that's what I want.
That is so creepy.
There's been no hesitancy with me sending you the final draft file.
Will you pause
I am
it?
totally fine.
That's a lot.
That I get to have Blake Lively, all of her.
Yeah. If I was Ryan,
I would be like,
no.
fucking, there would be steam coming out of my ears.
I'd be like,
could you imagine?
He's getting all of what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
2
wild.
a.m., you're in bed. You get that.
Is that crossing a line?
I think so. It's your coworker. Wait, play the rest because there's another part.
Yes, it is.
Fine with that. The only reason I didn't send it today was because I was trying to implement and add your notes into my working draft, which I just haven't had a chance to send it to you. But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you. And I hope after this experience, I hope it'll be healing in some way. That's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial, just like you touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with a domestic violence partner that we found no more and just my vision. And I know that this can be really, really special. And you're the secret sauce and we're the secret sauce. Anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm going to stop rambling because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So you probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob and you're listening to me ramble at 2 a.m. I hope you're feeling better and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done. Cutting myself off. Good night.
Him saying at the end, give Ryan my love. It's so diabolical.
In the boob. You had a baby.
That is too much.
Too much.
That is
It's too fucking much.
But that's like, it makes you wonder, did they really release that? Because I don't know, but in a lot of ways, it does make him look good. Like, it was a good apology. There were parts of it that were very sincere, in my opinion. I don't think boundaries have been set, but it's like, we don't know their conversations between the two of them. Have there just been no boundaries all along? This is obviously inappropriate for a work setting, though.
Yeah, if I was getting this from one of our male coworkers here, I would be
like, you got a baby on your boob.
Feel like so awkward.
Yeah, that would no.
Like, oh my God,
and it's like, I know they have this straight, because it seems like there's no boundaries when it comes to acting in a lot of ways. Like the fact that they're up late rewriting scenes till 2 a.m. till they're both delirious, laughing together, and like, have they just lost all sense of? And is this how all movies are?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is this just, again, kind of the
norm?
Quirky, artsy fartsy of that actors are? I don't know.
Because if this is
actor
really making him, if it makes him look bad, if this shows him crossing the lines, then why would they have released it? I don't know if it does. But I don't know. The boob thing, that's really,
Like, why did you have
just
to say
said
that?
breastfeeding.
Or just don't say that.
Yeah, just keep
or
it
just like, I'm sure you're
professional.
busy with your kids. I'll let you go.
Yeah.
It's also 2 a.m. though, so why would you have kids climbing all over you?
Yeah.
2 a.m.
I don't know.
And the
the suck up energy is really crazy too.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's sucking hard. Okay.
Mm-hmm. If they released it, what would the point of that be? To show that he was compassionate and understanding and trying to apologize and work with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's
kind of a strange thing to release if they did. Does it add that much to their argument or public perspective? Does it make him look worse? What do you guys think? Does this make him look better in your eyes or worse?
Yeah, I'm curious. Because I feel like it makes him... I don't know. I think it makes him look better from the claims that she's making, that he was like this terrible human that wanted to like sabotage her.
Right.
But I think it makes him look worse of like, that was low-key kind of crossing the line. And also, I think it really supports this rumor that's going around of like...
I was just going to say that. Supporting the Candace Owens theory.
Yes, exactly. So...
I mean, not going to lie.
Like, that was hot to listen to as a third party. Mm-hmm. But if I was receiving that...
Yeah.
From my coworker, I'd be like...
It's not only the voice and the way he's saying it, but it's some of the wording as
totally.
Well. Yeah.
Like...
I really do want him to like make an app with like
a call
peaceful
app.
Stories or something. I would love to listen to that.
Yeah.
That was good. I'm like relaxed now. I was feeling stressed before this. I feel great. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, I mean,
thanks, Brian.
I liked it. I thought it was great.
Well, let us know your thoughts.
And by the way, one other thing, it came out that the trial date has been set in New York for March 9th, 2026, which I just realized if it's in New York, I'm pretty sure, didn't Ian say that you can't have live feeds in New York in trials.
Oh, yeah, we did, because we talked about this with Diddy recently, too, that they're probably not going to...
Can you live stream a... Oh, dang. There are some exceptions, but most of the time it's prohibited, which...
They probably won't allow them to.
That would be so fun to watch this play out live.
Because isn't that where... I'm pretty sure that's where Black China versus the Kardashians was. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, I think it was, actually.
Because they didn't film it. Remember, they had those weird drawings?
Yeah.
And maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
But anyway, March 9th, 2026. So we've got a long way.
So they're going forward, I guess.
I wonder when will come out
Dumb.
between now and then.
Yeah, probably a lot.
Yeah.
Well, they're still threatening to release that whole website. Do it. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
I want to see it all now. Might as well.
I'm invested.
Like 6-minute voice memos.
I wonder what other voice memos they have, though.
Oh, I'm sure a lot.
And I wonder if there's any of her being like, oh, Justin.
How can you see? Don't voice memos disappear? How do you even like go back and look at them?
You can save them.
Okay.
I think.
So if he saved his own and then released his own, he keeps record of his own.
Yeah, and
voice
also,
memos?
is there not a way maybe to go ask your cell phone provider for them? I don't know how that works, actually. That's kind of a good question.
Maybe.
So maybe he saved them.
Or maybe they're saved in the cloud somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway. Well, let us know, guys. I want to hear your thoughts on this. It's interesting. It's sexy.
It is. It's sexy, but also kind of weird.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. But that's really all we have to talk about today. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this again next week, possibly. I kind of would like a little break from it, so we'll see what comes out. But I know you guys are super interested, and now I'm in this.
Oh,
so,
I'm
like, if something comes out, I want to talk about it.
Yep.
So we'll see what the next week brings us. And again, we record Mondays, so by Thursday, who knows what could come out. So let us know your thoughts. Oh yeah, we record Monday. It comes out Wednesday. Right.
Yeah, I'm curious, man, if anything else is going to happen. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm like, what could you come out with that's going to change everything that just was already brought forward? I don't know.
Let's get a statement from Tay Tay. What does she have to say? She's how much dragon happen.
Yeah, I'm a dragon.
Tay Tay don't give a damn.
I wonder what she does think, though.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I'm sure she's just pissed. Like, why the fuck was I dragged into this? Y'all had to name me? I'm your secret dragon. You keep me in the vault.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts. That's going to be it for the sesh today. Always fun hanging out with y'all. It was a super interesting episode.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week.
See you on the next episode. Until then, keep it fresh.
Keep it fresh.